the now and here. Gaming tales you need to hear. Laugh and shout and sometimes sneer. Memories from all those years. Console wars and secret tips. Tips and tricks from pixel trips. News that pours from gaming sips. Critical minds and candid lips. And Generation X gaming show. Tune in where the thoughts flow. Rant and rave with words that glow. Weekly stories make them go.
Going on, everybody? Welcome back to another week, another episode of Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories in the past week, and we rant along the way. I don't know if my audio is low or not. Who knows? Who cares? What's going on, Sarge?
It was the first time out. My question is, did it glitch out a little bit in the beginning, or was that only on my side, or did it happen on your side?
What do you mean? What do you mean glitch out?
The song kind of paused.
I did a rough edit. I didn't fade it in. So
no, it was like in the middle of the song. I didn't know if it was on my end or if that's
oh
something that actually
no, I didn't hear anything in the middle.
You didn't hear anything in the middle. Okay.
Yeah.
All
right, chat. How's it going? Generation X Gaming weekly podcast, Thursday nights, 8 p.m. right here on 30 NSG on YouTube, and also welcome you Twitter folks over on X. Sorry, I keep saying Twitter, but it's X. We've been streaming over there for the last, since 2025 started. So you can watch us, listen to us over there. You can watch the past broadcast over there, and you can also watch the past broadcast over here on YouTube. You can also listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm, and anywhere else a podcast is listened to. On today's show, Sarge, episode 424, it's called One Shall Stand and One Shall Fall. The thumbnail, Sarge, was AC Shadows, was Marvel Rivals, and Transformers Reactivate. So we'll talk about all three of those topics on today's show. On top of that, we have other news stories we're going to talk about. We're talking about Battlefield 6 could take a less is more approach. We're going to talk about online multiplayer isn't fun anymore. Okay, we're going to talk about Microsoft says AI will lead to job losses, but then invests $80 billion into the tech. Jesus Christ. PUBG is getting AI-powered companions. Sony's turning some of their IPs into movies. Okay. GeForce is going cloud. GeForce is now cloud goes everywhere with new devices and AAA games on GeForce now. And we'll talk about many other things on the show. If you would like to help this show out in any way, shape, or form, you can hit that like button. You can hit that subscribe button. And if you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. You can also do super chats or do nothing. Just watch the show. All is appreciated.
Before we move on, do we have to do a segment like every week about how corporations, if they find a way not to pay someone to use a robot to do the job, they will? Does that have to be a constant reminder?
What do you mean?
What I mean is whatever story comes out.
What happened was
whatever story comes out about how AI is going to help people, right?
Yeah.
That's the label. AI is going to help us, right? It's going to make our lives easier.
So much better.
And I'm just doing air quotes the entire time because those of you who understand what's going on know that if a company can find a way not to hire someone and use a robot to do the same job, I've done it.
I've done it right here on this show, on this channel. I've done it. I've saved a fortune. I've made an album of music, and AI is making the show better.
I get it, bro. But what I'm saying is, how do I do this properly?
You just say it and then fix it later.
Yeah, we are not in a position culturally to handle the speed at which AI will infiltrate our markets, right?
No, it's just going to happen.
So there's going to be a severe, what is the proper term here without causing panic? There's going to be a sidestep in how people can actually survive on the planet, because if I know it sounds weird. Everyone always says, well, the AI is just going to do the jobs that nobody else wants, right? You think that, right? But you have to remember on your day-to-day events, when you go out shopping and you go out amongst the world and
Yep.
you see everybody at these jobs, if they didn't have those jobs,
You mean these
they'd
people?
they'd
Wait,
be
you mean
homeless.
these people at the jobs?
Yeah, I get it, bro.
Hey,
What? Look, everyone's looking at their phone. I get it.
Hey,
I get it, bro.
I feel so welcome in this store. Thanks for acknowledging me.
I get it, but there's a lot of people. They're not mentally prepared for there not to be any job for them.
Well, they're so. How do I say this?
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We're not prepared.
they're not present anyway, though.
Because listen,
You understand what I'm saying? They're not present.
let me try to listen. Let me try to put this out. Like, so I'm an old guy now, and I will talk about me. I'll just talk about me, right? When I slid into the world,
What do you mean you're talking
Right?
about you?
yeah, me,
Yeah,
the
okay.
actual Sarge. When I slid into the world, okay, of jobs, like I
Okay.
was just a kid one day, and mom and dad said, "Well, you need to get a job
And then
because
you got kicked in the nuts.
right." And so it's like, so I started looking and then you start realizing, well, I don't want to do these things. So like my first job was cleaning the pools, right? I did that for
remember that.
I did that for like 6 months, 5 months.
Was it that
right?
long? That was like 2 weeks.
No, it wasn't 2 weeks.
Yeah,
maybe 3 months.
I totally forgot that you
Three-
did that.
3
Yeah.
to 4 months, right? So then my next job was working at the mom and pop video store,
Video store, Video Extron,
Video Extron, right?
Video Extron.
So then even back then, you're just I'm existing in a spot,
Yep.
collecting money, trying to make where I am interesting and fun, because otherwise you start to lose your mind. That's why we didn't have this back then. So you just started losing your mind. Meanwhile, I just put the videos and we'd watch whatever videos we wanted, right? That's what we would do. Right now, fast forward, right? All those jobs that you start out with, that you slide into to learn about how the economy works and how much money it costs to be, like, people don't understand the concepts, right? When you have a job and you're working 30 hours a week or 25 hours a week part-time and you get a check, you're all happy about the check. But then the more responsibilities that come into the picture, you realize that the check doesn't go far. You need to get a better job. So then you get a better job and then more responsibilities come, right? So it's just like this stepping balance, but you're learning each step. Like, what do I need to do?
The
How
AI
much
doesn't
money do I
care.
make? Right? So now you're going to get rid of all the stepping jobs, all the jobs that teach
Everything.
you
Yep.
what it is to go from nothing to something. Now you're just coming out of school and you either have to, from the get-go, I want to do this and go pursue that job. I got news for you. Nobody's ready to handle that. The dispensaries are too strong and nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, nobody
right?
gives a shit. Yeah.
Nobody cares.
We watched a
That's the
video, a couple
problem.
months ago, of the kid that just, he didn't want to work at GameStop anymore because his management didn't respect him, right? I'm making 11, I think he was making 11.50 or whatever. And he's like, I'm done, right? And that's exactly it, though. It's like, I said it today. I go to the store. I work myself.
Stepping stones. That's all I'm saying.
I got to stock my own shelves. I got to check myself out. I got to do all these things. I got to get my own food. It's like, that's not even automated. That's just using the employees that are or the customers that are giving you money, them working for themselves. And then on top of that, it's the register where it's AI or,
right. No adding, no subtracting, nothing. You just exist. Like the issue. I see some of it in chat. The issue with UBI, right? The issue with this is then you just become a cog in the wheel of the machine, because you are handed over money and then you are tracked about what you spend that money on.
Well, the worst though,
no one has any sense of purpose.
Well, back then,
given money.
But back then we actually got money. Like, you got an actual, like, physical money. Now they go, it's deposited. You don't even get to see your money.
Right. There's no money.
So you don't even appreciate what you get because you don't see it. You just keep spending it. It's like going to Vegas, right? You cash in your money. They give you a bracelet. You can just scan it on everything. You're spending money.
It's just it's scary because technology, and I know a lot of people don't realize this, but in the past, the government the government in the past, I forget what laws were passed early on. It was like in the 70s or 80s, right? Some things were passed where government wasn't allowed to regulate technology, and it was because of the benefit to them, right? Because the inventors, the dreamers, guys that are involved in tech even back then were like, listen, don't put restrictions on us, right? And whatever stuff we come out with, you get it first, right? That's basically the deal, right? So if you realize, and I know a lot of people don't realize this, but if you look across the economic spectrum of your country, you realize that a lot of things are slow to progress because they have a lot of restrictions on them to go slow, right? But technology as a whole, the things that push things forward, have no restrictions. That's why you have a faster computer every year or every 3 years, and faster chips and faster things. And so we're getting to the point now where we've reached the point where now the fast tech is now going to eliminate common concrete jobs that we've had forever, right? And we're not ready. We're not ready. It's gonna be a skew that you've never seen before.
Mr. Luke says it's not payday, it's bill day. That's right. That's right. You get money now, and you're like, I gotta pay my bills. That's what it is. All right. Now that we've gone, I don't have the rabbit hole song here. We've gone down a rabbit hole.
It's not a rabbit hole. We're just discussing stuff. You're talking about AI.
We went from AI to depressing people about their work ethic.
You need stepping stone jobs. If you believe all the talk that they say that people don't want to do those jobs anyway, if there's no starting job for you, right? And I'm trying to be serious about this. If there's no starting job, then in middle school you better start thinking about jobs, and in high school you better start thinking about what it is you really want to do, because by the time you leave high school, maybe you don't want to go to college because college is a scam for most people. It's a lot of money and you're not guaranteed shit, and the degrees aren't paying anything, right? Because they want people that can work. So you got to jump the fuck out of high school into something that pays. So you need to know what's going on. You can't decide.
Guy came to my house to read a meter.
You can't decide to lollygaggle for 4 years and be like, I don't know, I'm just smoke weed and play some video games and fuck my girlfriend.
Guy came to my house to read a meter. He got paid $35 an hour to read a meter. That's all he did.
I get it. All I'm saying is there's not enough of those jobs to go around.
What the fuck am I doing?
The stepping jobs are like the time gaps that gives people time to understand what they want to do. If you get rid of all the time gaps, that means from the get, you got to know what you want to do.
Magic Dolphin says, well, first he says, members for 18 months. Thank you very much for the 18 month. He says, I can't afford college for my son. It goes to the damn membership. There you go. Thank you. I appreciate it. I will take that. I will take that $5. I will invest it, and maybe I'll give it to your son one day.
I mean, we're moving fast. It's going to be an interesting couple years. I will say that.
Jay Breezy says, just be a street pharmacist. I got you.
That's the new slogan. Right? Is that what we're calling now?
Let's start to talk about what we've been playing. And chat, I did something for you guys. It's because I care. Okay. I fixed the audio. I re-edited the stuff. I lowered the volume.
We don't lose people during the segment.
Yeah, so your ears don't bleed. It's time for what we've been playing. There you go. That's not loud, Jay Breezy. That's not loud. Oh, okay. I was like, I made sure it wasn't blowing eardrums out this time. Yeah, it only took 10 years. Nah, it didn't take 10 years. We put that in last year. Settle down.
Settle down. It's been a couple of years, I think.
No, I've only been using this program.
No, but
that intro
stuff.
Oh no, but it wasn't loud when we used the other program. We only been using this program for a couple months.
Okay.
It was loud. I couldn't control it in here.
Well, I'm planning.
We always have technical issues.
Every day's a
get used to it. Kind of low, don't you think? You son of a bitch. You son of a bitch, Mo. How dare you, sir? I made it. Raise up the volume if you can't hear it this time. Robert Jones says with the $5 super chat says thanks for the audio improvement. See, at least someone appreciates us. Okay, not like Mo. It's a little low, don't you think? A little low. Hey Mo, remember that video we watched today? I need to know the criticism that you're giving me. I don't know what you want me to do. Do you want me to make it louder? I can't tell. You need to let me know,
bro. I thought
you gotta give me some signs.
I don't want to talk bad about anybody, but I my head almost exploded from listening to that guy. Right? if that's the way game development is, that's why it's taking so fucking long for a game to be developed. Right? Nobody wants to do their job properly. Nobody can take constructive criticism, and nobody wants to lead. That's the big one. We don't have leadership, proper leadership in these positions, right? You need to make decisions in life, just like decisions in a job. Somebody has to make a decision, right? Whether it be what's for dinner or which company we're buying out this year because we need to do something with all this money, right? Like somebody needs to make decisions, but everybody wants to just lay back. Yep, just kind of lay back, put my feet on the couch and not worry about nothing. Like that's not how it goes, bro. It's not how it goes.
Altern says, well, Mike, first, I like how the show is done. I like how respectful Sarge is, but I don't like the audio. I appreciate it. Well, I'll put that in the filing cabinet, and I'll get my best manager on it ASAP. What's going on, Wolverine?
It's a joke. It's a joke.
Oh, Wolverine's on X. Yeah, look at him over there on X. What's going on, Wolvie? At least we know it works. Okuda Papa with the $5 super chat says we have ballless soy boys in all those positions.
Absolutely.
I mean, we understand now though why it takes so long to develop a game.
If they're worried about that kind of shit on a daily basis, nothing gets done. Like literally nothing gets done. They're probably having meetings about meetings.
Yeah, we need to talk about the last meeting that we had. Yeah, we have to talk about the last meeting that we had.
We got to talk about how I felt about the last meeting. Like, no, bro, no.
This coffee sucks.
But the world does not.
But how does it suck?
Way. The world does not run this way. I don't understand what the fuck is happening.
Actually, my coffee's really good, by the way.
Where are the men? Where are the men? Because I don't understand what's happening. That this is the state that we're in. No one gives a shit, right? If no one talks to you at work, if your boss doesn't say a goddamn thing to you, I mean zero. He nods. He sees you nods. How you doing today? Right? He says nothing to you for weeks on end. You're doing a good job.
That's right.
Nobody's saying anything to you. You're doing a good job. If every fucking 10 minutes someone has to pat you on the head and tell you how good you are, you need to call your mom.
I say this all the time.
And get that shit worked out because
when I was on the
film, how it works.
When I was on the film sets, sometimes the director, the only time I met the director, sometimes he would say, "How are you doing? Blah blah blah. Nice to meet you. Great." He would never speak to me. Okay, they would never speak to me because during the actual shoot of the movie, okay, unless they're like, "Hey, can you get a tighter shot or whatever?" I'll be like, "Yeah, cool." I don't go, "What do you mean by tighter shot? You're giving me criticism, but you got to tell me what you want, not what you don't like." Right? It's like, what do you talk about? I never got compliments. The compliment was no one saying, "Hey, asshole, keep that camera in focus." Right? You just did your job, and then at the end of the day, they went, "Good work." That's it. See you tomorrow. Right? And then the next day, I'm on the call sheet, and they go, "Yeah, you still got a job? Oh, sweet, still got a job." That's it. That's what you do. Be the best that you can be. All right? Don't look for approval by everybody, because then if you're looking for approval to everybody else, you'll never get it. You'll never get it. You're chasing. What is it? The grass is green on the other side type of thing.
Oh, Dolphin, that's an oldie but a goodie. The old I'm going out for cigarettes. And then,
no, he's actually going out for cigarettes.
No, he's saying his mom went out to get cigarettes 15 years ago and never saw her again. I'm like, the old I'm going to get cigarettes. I remember that one.
Maybe she walked in a different location.
I had a friend that happened to the same thing. Mom went out for cigarettes and never came back. No, it wasn't Dan.
Dan?
It wasn't Dan.
All right. So, Sarge, another week, another episode. What you been playing? I know what you played last night.
Yeah.
What'd you think of it? What'd you think of You haven't played Overwatch in 7 years, so
I understand why everyone likes it. it creates the fantasy of you playing one of your favorite heroes or villain from back in the day. You're playing with other heroes from back in the day, and you're in basically a comic book setting. So your imagination gets to run wild about the comic book fights that you once saw, if you still read comic books like I did.
Right.
And it kind of brings it to life. So I understand completely why the game is doing so well. And it should. Right. I never said that the game was going to do bad. I just said I don't know what the legs this game will have, even though you're introducing a lot of characters because of the state that we're in and how many games are coming out. That's all. Like, but I understand. Like, I had a blast. I'll be honest. I picked the easy, I picked easy characters. I picked the easy characters first.
I think you had a blast because you're playing with the whole group of us from the actual community.
Of course. Otherwise, I would have rage quit it. I would have rage quit because people are talking. They're telling you what they're doing. You don't attack piecemeal. The game has a strategy to it. It's not just run amok in a room with a guy.
If you're watching,
strategy there.
Yeah, if you're watching and you don't know anything about it, then you would see it as just chaos. But it's not chaos. You know what I mean? I don't know why you retracted your message. Okay. I don't know why people look at it and go, "Oh, it's chaos." I mean, yeah, it's chaos, but at the same time, there's actually a point going on behind the scenes. But if you don't understand the characters, you don't understand the strategy, you don't understand when to push. Like yesterday, when we were playing, there was times that we were going in and we were just getting melted. We were getting melted because we were going individually. You weren't going in as a group. You have to hold back, wait, and then everyone charge at the same time. Make sure people have their ults. It's almost like when people watch baseball. You ask people to play baseball or do you know baseball? They're like, I hate baseball. Baseball's so boring. But if you understand baseball, there's multiple games going on at the exact same time on that field between the managers, between the pitcher and the catcher and the batter. There's so many things going on, and it changes
that you might not know because you don't understand the intricacies of the game.
Correct. It changes all the time based on who's at bat, who's on base, what their stats are because they're hitting and they're on fire. Like there's just so many things, right? So when you look at something you don't understand it, that's how you take it. You look at it's fucking stupid. It's boring. And you see a lot of people talking about it's just Overwatch. It's just Overwatch. It's more than Overwatch, man. It is Overwatch, but it's Overwatch better because of the way the team ups are. Okay, more characters, more abilities, more chaotic type of stuff. You know what I mean?
So, in the gaming sphere, that's taking a current game that's been out and did well. Somebody else looked at that kind of game, that genre of game, decided that they wanted to do their version of that game, just like it happens in any other game throughout the years. If someone makes a good game, somebody else tries to do a better version. And they did. Improved abilities, improved synergies, improved gameplay, and everything was a little bit better than what Overwatch did. So it did succeed. Yes. Yes. Because that's what you're supposed to do. If you're going to make a game that's already out, and you're going to join that genre, and you have a team of people working together, you better have played that game enough to know what you want the improvements to be.
So,
right?
I've been playing Captain America on stream, okay? And a light bulb went off last night, right? First of all, before we started playing last night, I tossed my shield, and it ricocheted off the ground, and I was like, wait, I can ricochet it off the ground? And then I found out that not only does it ricochet off the ground, but it'll automatically hit anybody that's in the area, auto aim, right?
Is it close? Is there a distance cap on that?
It's like 25 meters is the best damage it does, right? So when I throw it down on the ground, it can ricochet off of 3 people if there's 3 enemies there, okay? So then last night after we got off, I was like, man, I got to get better. So I started looking up videos.
Did you realize you thought you weren't doing enough?
I knew I was doing something wrong. I was like, I'm missing something, right? So I started looking at videos, and when I looked at the video, this one guy goes, yeah, you have 4 hits with you could throw the shield 4 times. I was like, I can only throw it once. I was like, I don't understand what he's doing. And I'm watching him, right? And he's going, phoo, 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 throwing it 4 times. I'm like, what is he doing? And I slowed it down, rewind, and I'm like, oh, son of a bitch, right? So what I was doing wrong was, as Cap, I'm blocking, right, with my shield up. And then when I put my shield down, I'm bashing, but I'm up close and personal with them, right? I'm bashing them. But I'm bashing and I'm not backing away. I think this is doing the most damage. It's not. So once you engage with Captain America, you hit the target, right? So let's say it's Venom. I hit Venom, okay? I start backing away, and then I got 4 shots of throwing the shield at him. And I was like, holy shit. I'm melting people now. Melting people. And I'm like, oh shit, now it's on. Because now I'm starting to learn. I played with Mr. Luke earlier today. I had a phenomenal game. I was what was it, Luke? 27 and 4, something like that. Okay. And let me tell you, Luke, awesome healer. Mr. Luke is an awesome healer. He was Magneto earlier today. And he was giving me shields and whatnot. Holy shit, it was so good. I want to show you guys, but I tried to look at the video footage and it's all crystallated. I got to turn it on, but I can't get into this program. Anyway, I was unstoppable. I was just sitting at the point in front of the caravan,
yeah.
right? And 5 guys are just slamming on me, right?
I don't understand. I watched your footage. I don't understand. How are you staying alive?
Well,
how are you staying alive?
One, I was popping because I was doing more damage now. And because I'm doing more damage, I'm getting my super back faster, right? And he's giving me shields in the back to help me stay alive. Okay. And then we didn't have healers. One healer was doing literally shit, doing absolutely nothing. Okay. But I just stayed there. And all 5 of them are hitting on me. I'm like, oh, bah, bah, bah. It was so badass for 2.5 minutes. We were sitting there and they could not kill me.
But see, that's what I'm talking about when I say that you have the fantasy of being the hero, right? That's a captured moment like that. I would compare that right there as a battlefield moment, right? When you feel the most powerful and something really badass is happening. Like same feeling. Same feeling.
Oh, get your guys' heads out. Yeah, they were all slamming me. I was taking a beat and all their dicks were in my like, wait, what are you talking about? I was fighting Marvel's Avengers. We had 5 people just like they were nonstop beating me. Okay. And they couldn't kill me. They could not kill me. And get this, Sarge. I found out that my alt for Captain America is not just shields and I get a bonus. You can run around. Okay, and he leaves a red, white, and blue mark, like a very slight red, white, and blue mark on the ground. Okay, and if I make the circumference around, anybody that's in the circle or standing near me gets all that buff and boost as well. So now when we're taking over a point, forget about it. I'm going to pop that shit, run around in a circle, and points ours. Okay, because everyone gets buffed and boosted. Okay, it's fantastic. That's right, slamming me for 2 minutes. Just keep going. I'll give you clips all day long. As long as you share it out, I don't give a shit.
Yeah. You guys apparently need to get out of the house a little bit. Apparently, a lot of you need to get out of the house.
30 said banging 5 guys. Right?
Still the same. Yeah. Doesn't matter if you're 14, 40, or 400.
Fart jokes and just beating things. That's what our fans are about. Right, you need to get some. That's right. I could do this all day. Yeah, keep going. Yeah, I'm having a blast though. I want to play a different character, but I don't want to play a different character. I want to just keep playing.
Yeah, you want to figure it out.
Yeah.
Listen, I picked the basic character first. I only played 3 characters. I played Punisher, I played Bucky, and I played Hawkeye. Because I played Hawkeye only because I got killed so many times by Hawkeye. I'm like, I got to see this. I got to see what he's doing. Right, because it was so annoying. Like I was getting like 2-shotted, like from across the map. I'm like, all right, I'll be Hawkeye. Let's see what's going on.
I started laughing because I went up against a couple of Hawkeyes earlier today, and I was just going up into their face, and he's trying to shoot me, and I'm just sitting there going, slam on the ground with the shield, and then I'm like, bam, bam, dead. And I'm loving it now. So now I want to go back in and just fine tune because my X button dashes at people, right? And I got to stop using it as a dash in, and I got to start using it as a dash out, right? So I got to save it. So I slam in, pop my RB, so I have my running ability, jump up in the air, slam down, slam the shield, hit a guy, back up 5.
It's like a good combo, right? It's
4 times, and then X my way out of that thing, and then rinse and repeat.
I was looking at the flow of the matches when we were playing it, and you know how I am. I'm more of a strategist because I play a lot of the strategy games, and I noticed the teams that were like slaughtering us before we got a chance to actually attempt a point cap they were running a 4-2, right? And so the 4 was the main group with the tank, keeping people busy, and the 2 DPS would go for our healer right away. And once the healer's down, you can change targets and go right for the guy you need to go for, because now they don't have the feeling you can stack the damage. And so it was working. I was watching it. I'm like, we couldn't do anything about it, because even though we were working together, they identify the characters. They know who's who,
right?
And so they're targeting specifically 2 DPSs on the healer. Once the healer goes down, then they switch targets and they go right for the tank. And then once the tank's down, you can just mop up because nobody else can hold.
Well, Wolverine's saying once you feel comfortable learning a branch, other roles as well, never know when you might be forced to pick another character. I was just going to say, Wolverine, last night we had a game match. We were going up against a Scarlet Witch and a Magneto, right? Man. And they were just wrecking us. Instead of just trying to force the peg into the triangle, you know what I mean? We should have, obviously, once we know the characters, we should find the rock to their paper, you know what I mean? Right. Or rock to their scissors, whatever. You know what I mean? And we should have changed to that team to go up against them to stop them. And that is what I'm talking about, a game of baseball, right? There's way more depth in this game than people give credit to. They're just like, oh, it's just Overwatch. It's just Overwatch. It's not Overwatch.
Even so, even though you might know the counter, you're not good with that character.
Right, you have to be good with the character. Yeah.
Right. You noticed how when we were winning, they were changing characters. You saw how that was working. Like once we started winning, they started changing characters.
Yeah, Mr. Luke sent me a video earlier, and it was about a guy talking about. Actually, I could probably play it. Let me bring it up. Right, it's actually pretty good. It's funny because when you're playing quick match, right? And a couple of weeks ago we had a conversation. Travis brought it up. He's like, I hate when people do this in quick match. I'm like, well, if you want competitive, then go to competitive because it won't be that way. But he doesn't want to be competitive because he doesn't want to sweat, so he wants to stay in quick match. But this video here, where is it? Luke, where did you send that to? Did you put that in? Was that in the Marvel Rivals section, or was that in the direct message section? I think that was in Marvel Rivals. Yeah, Marvel Rivals. Okay, so let me bring this up, and we'll play it.
If you think we need another tank or healer so bad, if you hop in chat to tell someone else to swap to a tank or a healer, why don't you do it? If you think we need another tank or healer so bad, then you swap. Game hasn't even started yet. You have no idea who we're facing. What if we don't need a second healer or tank? What if we do need 3 or 4 DPS? Because if everyone is so focused on tanking and healing, that means no one's focused on getting eliminations. How about this? How about you stop trying to force other people to play a role that you don't even want to play yourself? Who made you the leader of the team? Instead of making demands, how about you take action? Show a little initiative. Let's see how you play that role that you think we need so badly. You know what? I have a better idea. Why don't you just insta-lock that role so you never have to ask anyone else to swap ever again? You'll already have that role covered. Oh, because you don't want to be forced to play that role? How ironic. Let's just let people do what they want in quick match. Because who cares? It's quick match. If you want better teammates, go play ranked. We don't need you telling us who to pick when we're just trying to have fun playing some quick matches. Just being honest.
Right, and it's so true.
And in games, just like in life, same principles.
Right now,
nobody wants to lead. They want to give orders, but they don't want to lead.
Right, and in quick match, you just play the game, right? And we were getting our ass kicked, but I was learning the character, right? There was a point that I went to Cloak and Dagger, and I don't really know the character. There was a point that you tried Bucky. There was like 3 or 4 of us that switched to characters that we didn't really know. And we were just getting our asses handed to us, right? And it was like 4 games, 5 games. I was like, I'm going back to Cap. I was like, I gotta go back to Cap. I feel like I'm in control.
But I know from watching that game, right? 6 months from now, right? When people have vetted themselves on multiple characters, even quick play, not ranked, even quick play will be some of the craziest sweat matches you've ever seen. And I can only imagine at that point what a ranked match would be. Holy shit. It's going to be insane.
I've been watching Tim the Tatman, and he's been watching other pros, and which is a cool system inside the game. You can just click on the top 500 people.
I thought that was interesting that you could
top
actually do
500
that.
people. You can click on them and watch their gameplay footage, right?
What kind of servers they have committed to this game?
So you can watch the top 500 players play this game. So if you want to play a character, you can watch the best people playing the character and see what they do, and you learn so much from it, right? So I have a little bit of a bug in me right now where I'm like, I want to be the best cap, even though I know I'm not going to be, but I have that drive to, I want to try to be one of the best caps, right? Right. I don't know if it's number one, but I want to be up on the board. I want to be somewhere on that list as one of the better caps that are playing the game.
I just think it's a good feature, Water. The fact that you can actually do that, I think, is amazing. Right? That's consumer friendly. It's 100% consumer friendly. You're discouraged. You don't understand the game. You don't understand how to play it. Click on the guy who's the best. Watch him for a couple hours. Understand the character. Then how more consumer pro can you be?
Sarge, can you raise your microphone? Because I have no control of your audio. Can you raise up your up a little bit?
How about now?
I guess sounds fine to me. What's it called? What other games have you been playing? Because I've just been playing Marvel Rivals mostly this week. I'm trying to think if I jumped into anything else.
Well, I actually have played something different because I needed an RTS fix, and I got tired of playing Company Heroes 3. I wanted something a little different, right? And so I started playing Halo Wars 2, the sequel, right? And I'm playing online because it's all patched up now, and I'm playing online matches with other people, and I'm enjoying myself. And then that led me to be like, you know what? I want to just try Halo again, just to see if I still like it, right? And so I loaded up Halo Infinite, and I'm just playing through the campaign. That's why I mentioned it to you a couple of days ago, and I'm just playing through the campaign, and I'm like, I miss it. I missed what Halo was. Right. So I was enjoying myself up until the point where I'm so out of practice when I had to face off against two hunters and could not get behind them. Like the way that they were moving around, whatever kind of programming they have, like I kept trying to either ricochet a grenade or jump around behind them. Like I could not figure out how to get around behind them to get the damage on. And when I do the frontal attack, remember, they just eat bullets for a while before they lose a piece of armor. So my guns are empty when I got one naked, and then I have to like it made me crazy, and I had to stop. I'm like, all right, I'm doing this wrong. I got to figure another way to do this, right? Different weapon, trying different weapon. What weapons take his armor off? Like I'm going through the whole list now, right?
Right.
But I like the fact that you're in the Halo universe, open world, but you're still going on the missions, right? So I was playing that for like the last couple of days.
Nice.
Having a blast, yeah. But when you're by, I'll tell you what though, when you're by yourself, a lot harder. Can't flank, right? Can't flank.
We played it. What almost over a year ago, I guess.
I don't remember.
Played with a squad of people.
The only thing I'm sure people who've played Infinite will tell me because it's been too long since I played it, so I don't remember. So excuse me for saying this, but I don't like that I'm Master Chief. I know it's a campaign, but it's like I want to be any other Spartan. Right? Anybody else, just to put a different costume on it. And I'm wondering if maybe I just change my skin, or if you're in the campaign, that's just what it is. I think it's probably what it is.
Real quick, I missed a membership earlier. Let me see if
from Rachel. Back in the day, Robert. So awesome, man. My brother and I played through the whole thing.
Because member for 1 month, good people of the chat. The channel is a great need for you to smash that like button. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm sorry I missed that. I was on a little rant earlier, I guess, and I missed it. Krebsy reminded me I was playing Indiana Jones. I finished it. I finished the main campaign of Indiana Jones, and we rolled credits on Monday. What a fantastic game that is. I did, and I've never done this before on the channel, Sarge. I kind of did a review about it. It was my final thoughts after 40 hours of playing the game. I didn't give a review, like gave it a score, 7 out of 10 or anything like that, right? I just gave you my thoughts on what's the good points, bad points, broke it down for the acting, the audio, the combat, all that stuff. So if you guys missed that, go check that out. But overall, it's my favorite game that I ran credits with in 2024, even though I finished it in 2025 because I started playing in 2024. It's my favorite game of last year that I rolled credits. And I rolled credits on, I want to say about 10 or 15 games. Or put enough time in. But yeah, it's a really, really good game. I'm excited that a lot of people get to play it as far as, it was already on PC and Xbox. Now it's coming to PlayStation later on. They just did a phenomenal job with Machine Games. We talked about it last week that it sold pretty well, and Disney's probably going to make, I don't know if they're making DLCs, if they're going to make a sequel, but they definitely have something here. And I think they can just, I know in the movies you would have to recast Harrison Ford unless you're using some AI technology for CGI where you bring him back. But Harrison Ford is alive and well inside of the video game format now.
His voice
because
is
of Troy Baker.
Yeah, his voice is incredible.
Because of Troy Baker and because of this video game, indie can live on and they can make more indie games, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from now, and just keep making more games until they find someone else to, when Troy Baker's like, I'm done, I don't want to make them anymore. But I think this is the fourth movie. Like it was such a good voice acted movie. It's such a good game. And I'm not blushing over it because it's an Xbox game. No, it's a game. It's a good game. They made a game, they sold a game, and I had 2 glitches in the entire game. I killed one of the guys and he like fell through the map and then floated back up to the top. Like it was in water, but it was on wood. And then another one, I think it was like the audio dialogue got messed up. But for the most part, it's not a perfect game, but everything about it just works. Like just the feel of it, the way the weapons work, the puzzles, the action sequences, the cutscenes, the story. It was just good. So check that out. Check my video out, and let's move on to the top stories. I gotta find this thing now. There we go. All right. So top story, Sarge. Let's start off with the banger, okay? Because this one pissed me off, okay? This one happened just a few days ago. Yesterday. It wasn't even a few days ago. It was yesterday.
Was it yesterday?
Okay. So Transformers, okay? Troubled Transformers game finally canceled. Aimed cuts at studio behind Gear Tactics. Transformers Reactivate is no more, resulting in layoffs at Splash Damage. Okay, Transformers Reactivate was first teased back in Game Awards of 2022 in a short 60-second trailer set by Bon Jovi's Wanted Dead or Alive. Just a little 2 years later, developers of Splash Damage announced the online multiplayer game based on the hit sci-fi action figures is not wanted after all, and at least not by toy maker Hasbro, as we like to call them, Hasbro. Okay, it says, today we have some very difficult news to share, reads a statement via VGC from the studio best known for multiplayer games like Enemy Territory or Quake Wars of Brink, as well as more recent Gears of War spin-off Gears Tactics. The decision has been made that developers of Transformers Reactivate. This means that we'll be scaling down and to refocus on our efforts on other projects. Okay, so basically they're just tethering it along or pulling it along, like they didn't really care about it or whatnot. And Hasbro, I don't know if that's Splash Damage themselves or if it's Hasbro, but something's really weird here because this game was in operation since 2017 from Certain Affinity and Digital Extremes. Okay, they worked on this game for 3-4 years, got it to basically what we saw in the leaks and stuff, and then the Splash Damage took over. We saw the thing in 2022, meaning they've been working on it for 2 years on top of the already 3 years. And they say nothing. They say, oh, in 2023, we'll give you some, thing. Nothing happened. Then in 2024, they're like, oh, well, nothing.
But they are following your rules, though, bro. They're not saying anything.
Sure. Not saying anything is cool. But also not saying something about all the leaks or something. You know what I mean? Like they could have said, don't listen to what they're saying or something, right? And now, obviously,
you still want the hype. You still want the buzz.
Sure, the hype is there, right? We saw some footage of this game. This game looks pretty far along, and they said, Certain Infinity said, Splash Damage said, we're converting everything over from Unreal Engine 4 to 5, which then tells us it's still going. You know what I mean? Like they didn't say anything, but they said that they're moving it over to Unreal Engine 5. And here we are 2 years later.
When you say canceled, though, do they mean they just put it on the shelf to work on it later, or like we're not doing it anymore?
No,
period?
it's done.
You think so?
Done. Yeah, so much so. It's been Vagoted.
I forgot about him. I forgot.
It's been voted.
There are still people in the chat that go, "Who the fuck is that guy?" Like yeah. It's really a double joke. Like if you know who the guy is, it's one joke. But if you don't know who the guy is, and then you find out the guy is, it's a double pun basically.
It will be. It will be, Bo. I gotta change it. Yeah, I gotta. Vogoda's still gonna be there.
It's much easier to find a photo of a Concorde with an airplane noise. It's less editing. It's easier, right?
No, I'm just gonna put the box cover art of Concorde.
Yeah, of Concorde. Just do a picture of a Concorde with an airplane crashing. It's here.
No, I'm just gonna put a box cover art of Concorde behind Vogoda. That's
you're
it.
gonna do the actual game Concorde? I mean, like
Yeah.
the plane. The plane doesn't exist anymore. That's what you should probably use.
I guess sure. You could put both the Concorde and Concorde. Both don't exist.
Both. You put them both on the screen.
Yeah,
Concorde.
both don't exist.
Yes.
So yeah, Certain Infinity handed the candle off to Splash Damage and Bulkhead, and I always thought it was weird because Bulkhead always.
Candle? Does it say candle?
Yeah. No, it doesn't say candle.
Oh.
It says I said candle.
Usually it's hand over the torch.
Transformers Reactivate seemed like it would be the first new big budget game featuring robots since the Platinum Games 2015 Transformers Devastation, which is a phenomenal game, by the way. Published before Activision's license deal on Hasbro expired last year, saw the release of the racing roguelike Transformers Galactic Trials, like Kiss My Ass. Like that's the last game you came out with Transformers, a shitty mobile-esque port that came out for more like Mario Kart Racing, but with Transformers. Okay, last year Hasbro CEO Chris Cox. There you go, chat. I said Cox.
Nice.
Put that in with the 5 later. Okay. Nice. And the company's investment in video games, referencing unannounced Dungeons and Dragons and G.I. Joe projects following the success of 2023's Baldur's Gate 3. The executive told Bloomberg that the company was pouring $100 to $150 million a year into development of various projects. Okay. With the plans for at least 1 to 2 releases per year by 2026. It's a shame that Transformers Reactivate won't be among them. All right. Think about how much money they wasted. And on top of this, Sarge, which is really stupid, okay, they made toys. They made toys, and get this, not only did they make toys, but the toy packaging originally said Transformers Rise, which is what the game was called when Certain Infinity was doing it, okay? And they had toys, they had them out and made them and then boxed them, and it said Transformers Rise. Then they changed the game from Transformers Rise to Transformers Reactivate, okay? Then they made toys and boxes and box art for that, and they shipped it to the United States last year. I think Stealth, if he's in chat, he bought one or bought some of them. Okay, so now there's toys for a game in the world that never existed. That's a collector's item right there. That's a 100% collector's item.
It depends. The toy market's not as what it once was, bro. I've been watching the toy.
It's still a toy of a thing that never. Oh, Mike! Look at the camera just froze and with a stupid face. I was like, right. So yeah. So now they have toys out there. They have the franchise. They don't know what they're doing. They have no idea what they're doing with the IPs that they have. G.I. Joe's game. I hear horror stories happening about this thing. Okay, they're like it's in development hell. Okay, we don't know what's happening with that. Transformers Reactivate's done. Hasbro doesn't know what to do with Wizards of the Coast, D&D.
Oh, no.
What do you think about this?
Oh, no, they know what to do with D&D. For those of you who are not keeping track of Hasbro's shenanigans, they sold off D&D to a gaming company. So now you're going to see slot machines of D&D.
Oh, that type of gaming company.
D&D, mobile phone casino games with D&D. That's what because they can't make any money on it. They can't figure out how to make money on it. So they sold it off to a gaming company.
Nice. So if I want to play a D&D game now, I have to go to Vegas. Okay.
It's sad to me to see the IPs of old get beat up like this for no reason. I mean, there's just no reason. Besides the fact we've already solved the gaming problem between Transformers and G.I. Joe, they just don't want to do it because they don't think it's marketable when we know it is.
I just don't understand. I said this earlier in my earlier stream. How in the world do you have a franchise that has like army guys with guns, okay, cool looking bad guys? You have vehicles, robots that transform into sports cars, construction vehicles, bugs and insects, dinosaurs, weapons, tanks.
Everything a little boy looks at. Everything.
Right. A young boy, grown adult, is like all over this shit because it's Transformers, because it's everything, right? and yet they don't know. They're like,
Do it.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. We have to make toys. They don't want to make toys. They want to make digital toy versions of the toys because they don't want to make toys anymore.
They don't want to make anything because it's too expensive.
Right. Hence why they made toys for a thing for a game that doesn't exist.
Right. It's much easier just to make digital products and sell it that way, bro. You know how this works, right? We sell skins.
But they didn't even sell the digital product. The Transformers, the video game that they were going to make, they made the physical toys that they wanted to make digital, and then they decided not to make the digital version of it.
Yeah, but think about that for a moment. I like to play it back in my head from back in the day. I know they like to get a jump on things. Like back in the day, the toy companies would have the toys ready because the movie was coming out, and then the movie would come out and the toys would come out that Christmas. It was like clockwork. You knew that what was coming. Like that's how it went, right? So in this instance, you have a video game coming out that you know is supposed to come out, but now all of a sudden there's all this turmoil within the company. So you were going to do an entire toy line. By the way, a lot of money to do a toy line.
The molds and everything.
It's a lot. And I looked at the molds. I'm not sure if they're redone because if they didn't have to redo the molds and they're using old molds, I got to look at some figures in the past to see if it's an older mold that they didn't have to do. That would make sense. But to actually set up a whole line of toys to come out for a video game and then cancel the video game and you release the toys before even the game was out makes no sense at all.
But
at all. Doesn't make any sense.
Here's the dumb part. As the title of the podcast says, one shall stand, one shall fall, right? Marvel put out Marvel's Avengers, failed. Marvel put out Guardians of the Galaxy, good game, but underperformed.
That's right, but it did well.
Marvel put out Marvel's Midnight Suns, underperformed, okay? And finally, well, actually, they put out Marvel Future Revolution as well, okay? They've tried over and over. Now, obviously, Marvel Spider-Man's out there making money, okay? But they had way more failures with the Marvel brand than successes. Right now, we're still in the honeymoon phase of Marvel Rivals, okay? But they're making kick-ass style graphics. They're making kick-ass style like skins tonight. Right now, after this show, people are waiting for midnight to hit or 1 o'clock in the morning. They're going to start playing Season 1, and they're going to spend $10 on that Season Pass. They're going to spend $28 on the new skin. And yet Hasbro's going, well, we want digital toys, and we're going to cancel the game to give us a digital toy store where Transformers would have been there. And they could have made cool skins. They could have had figurines to sell and microtransactions to sell because it was supposed to be a free-to-play game. Okay? It was supposed to be a free-to-play. It was supposed to be like a Warframe. It was supposed to be like what the First Ascendant is. Okay? It would make a fucking killing.
But that's why it was canceled, because it wasn't up to snuff to be a game that could have been free to play. Remember, free to play games have to come out correct.
They have to come out, they have to come out done and
they have to come out. They have to come out. Free to play games have to come out correct. Period. Otherwise, it just doesn't work.
Is it 4:30 for us? I thought it was 1 a.m. for us and 4:30 for 4 or 5 for Europe or something like that. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. Something that brightened up my day, though, Sarge, from that story to this story. Okay, this brightened up my day. Okay, Assassin's Creed Shadows. Okay, I mark another one up. Mark another one in the books. Okay, Assassin's Creed Shadows now releases the 20th of March, 2025. Okay, even Kinger congratulated me on Twitter by saying you've won this round or something. I forget what he said. I was correct. He was wrong. But I said when they canceled it back in September.
Look how adorable it is, Mike. It's a long form letter. Look how nice it is.
Okay, it's in September. I said it's going to get delayed again. They're delaying it till February. I said I'll delay to probably March, maybe April. I said they're not going to fix anything. Then they started talking about how they're adding stuff to the game, and then they started showing more stuff. Now, I could have sworn, I could be wrong about this, that they said something along the lines of, we have to fix things and polish things and whatnot. I could have sworn I saw in a report of that it underperformed as far as pre-order sales went. Okay, but then Jeff Grubb, I believe it was Jeff Grubb, said that the pre-order sales were fine. Okay, but no one's sharing numbers. Right? Nobody's sharing numbers. So
beforehand, the pre-sale numbers were horrible and horrendous. Now they're fine.
Yeah, so I don't know.
So after it got delayed, more people pre-ordered. That's what you're trying to tell me, right?
I guess I don't know. I'm just giving information. I'm not saying what's right or what's wrong. I'm just giving information. Okay. It says, "Dear players, we want to extend the heartfelt thanks for our incredible fans and dedicated terms of unwavering support since our announcement in September to further refine the polish of Assassin's Creed Shadows. Remember, they were actually going to release this game broke, buggy, and unfinished." Where they just 6 weeks before launch, they decided that they had to have 3 months more worth of time to fix the game, which is now turning to 4 months. Okay. It says, since November, we've also been thrilled to share our progress through the gameplay overviews, and also overwhelming excitement for truly inspired us. Each week was brought to valuable feedback from our community, while it's also ready to be made remarkable strides. And we believe a few additional weeks are needed to implement the feedback to ensure that we've also had more ambitious and engaging day one experience. And what do you hear there, Sarge, when they say even more ambitious and engaging day one experience? I hear the game's not done, and they're just trying to get as somewhat enough stuff in the game, so you have to wait for the season pass or for bug fixes down the road. That's what I hear.
I think that it's the last coin in the jar for Ubisoft. I think that there might be some kind of deal in the background stating that if this doesn't work, that there's going to be severe changes that happen. I'm sure there's some kind of like fuse that's lit right now.
Right.
Because after this many failures and the turmoil inside that company, I'm not sure that the Guillemot family will be able to.
I can't say that.
Will be able to hang on to the company after this, because the shareholders will just be done, right? The stock's in the toilet. It's down. It's down from its high from 18 months ago. Almost less than a year. It was crashing. So we'll see. I mean, I look at it as an opportunity that another company will want to buy them out, because I think that's what.
Well, that's what's happening.
Well, they say
we'll talk about that in a second.
You're not allowed to do stuff like that. It's not inside trading. It's called something else. I can't remember the name of the legal term. But if you're purposely tanking your company so you can buy back your own shares at a cheaper price, right? Through subsidiary companies, not you directly, and then they give you the shares afterwards, and then somebody buys you out, then the share value goes back up again.
Well, they might be just selling off.
So what ends up happening is I crash the company, I buy back my shares cheaper through other companies. Then when the buyout happens, the price of the stock goes up, I cash out, and they buy out my company. So I make money on the shares that I raised up, and then I also make money on the company value that had gone up because of the buyout. And so then I walk away. So then the Guillemot family just walks away. You know what I mean? Like that seems like the setup to me, because you, in order for all your checks to not bounce at this point, you need a win.
Right.
You need a win.
Real quick, Krebsy says, according to Tom Henderson, they already have 10 plus hours DLC ready to go. Or, hear me out, that DLC was taken from the normal game and cut into DLC so it looks like they have more content, because they'll use that content to make it look better to sell for the game, right? Hey, here's the full game. Like, look, let me make it clear. Assassin's Creed is going to sell. Every single one before this is sold, and they're fine. But at the same time,
it's not going to sell the number they want.
Correct. It's going to underperform, okay, because it's not going to sell more than what the most best one is up to this point, right?
They're hoping that the time delay will let the wokeness hatred fade away. Is what they're hoping. They're hoping
sure.
that they're hoping
they had to get away from what was happening
yes.
at the end of the year last year.
Absolutely,
they had to pull themselves away from it, and I said that last year. I said they're delaying it because I said I'm speculating that the pre-order sales were low and that they want to get away from all of this drama that's happening here because we have short-term memories and we'll forget about it into the new year. 2025, people forget about stuff real fast, right? Real quick, let me continue. It says, according to the new release date, March 20th, 2025, we remain committed to delivering a high-quality and immersive experience fostered by ongoing dialogue between our players and development teams. All that means to me is that the game is not going to be complete. Okay, I read between lines. When you say your immersive experience fostered by ongoing dialogue between our players and development teams, this is a single-player game. This is not a massive MMO. It's not a live.
Who are you talking to?
Right.
Which
dialogue between our players and development teams. So that just means that You're going to release a game. It's not going to be complete. And when I say complete, it's still going to be glitchy, buggy, unfinished. Okay. It'll still be fit. Like, you could play the game, you'll enjoy the game, but it'll be not finished. It'll be fixed over the time because they're going to listen to the players and the developers to help them make the game, finish it by the end. Okay. It says, we know you're eager to learn more about the Assassin's Creed Shadows, and we're excited to share that the more updates will be coming your way very soon. Okay. Again, remember, they were going to sell you this game in November, incomplete. Okay, incomplete. Then they moved it to February, and they said that, oh no, we're just polishing it. But then they started changing things, and now they're delaying it one more month. Okay, I think it will land either in March. They might delay it one more time to like May. Okay, but when it does come out in March, if they delay it one more time, it will be an incomplete game. Same old story. It'll be like Outlaws. Okay, exactly like Outlaws. Outlaws was a complete game to them. It was incomplete to us. Mechanics were broke. Things weren't working. They fixed it over the next 3-4 months. Okay, that's exactly how Assassin's Creed is going to work. Look, X-Defiant came out, incomplete. Outlaws, incomplete. Skull and Bones, incomplete. The only one that came out complete last year was Prince of Persia. Okay, complete game, smaller title, smaller game. Okay, it was a side scroller. Very well done. People liked it, underperformed. Okay, a duck is a duck. Okay, I pointed at the duck. Assassin's Creed Shadows is a duck. It's going to come out. It's going to be just like Outlaws, just like X-Defiant, just like Skull and Bones, just like Pandora. Okay, all the games came out. They were okay, right? You'll have fun. Okay, but they're not going to be complete. Okay, I can see it happening all right now. Same articles happening. No, Outlaws is so good. This is the best game I ever played. I had fun. I don't care. And they're like, all the devs are fixing it. We hear you. We're fixing the mechanics. Oh, yeah, we're doing all these things. And 4 months later, now the game's in a much better place than it was when it launched. That's what Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to be when it comes out. All right. So there's that. And then there's Ubisoft. Points Advisors. Let me bring this up. Ubisoft appoints advisors to explore all companies' options. Okay, Ubisoft has announced that they appointed a group of leading advisors to assist with exploring companies' options moving forward. The news comes apart as a special strategic update provided by the company on Thursday. This thing that I read earlier today was the most corporate jargon I've ever heard in my entire life in the spiel. Okay, it says, following the strategic executives reviews initiated by the executive committee a few months ago, Ubisoft is taking decisive steps to reshape the group in order to deliver the best in-class player experience, enhance operational efficiency, and maximizing value creations. Let me read this to you guys in English. Okay, Ubisoft is taking decisive steps, major steps to change the entire franchise of the company. Okay, with the experience, enhance operation efficiency. Enhancing operation efficiency means firing a bunch of people. Okay, and maximizing value creation, which means getting more money because they fired all the people. Yeah. Okay, the company said press release shortly before the call took place. Now, during the call, of Ubisoft CEO Guillemot said that the group of advisors will review and pursue various transformational, strategic, and capitalistic options to extract the best value for stakeholders. English terms, the best way to make the most money for the investors as possible. Right there, you go. Right. It didn't give the details, of course not, as to of those advisors are, but he did say that things will be overseen by an independent member of the board of directors. Now, Guillemot says that they're confident that the decision will position Ubisoft for a stronger future in the years to come, and that he's also confident that there's several potential paths forward for the company. As far as more information into what the paths are, wouldn't divulge. He also was asked multiple times for more clarification, but he also said that he couldn't say more and wouldn't comment on specific rumors, and this is circulating and reiterated, however, different options were being explored. So there's people talking about that they might sell it off. They might sell bits and pieces. This is the rumors going on that he can't respond to. They're saying because they want to keep control. Right, we talked about this story months before.
Sure, they do.
But they can't keep control of what's happening right now.
It depends on where they get that money from. If they've exhausted their loan ability from banks and natural lenders, and they're getting money from another avenue, then they might have to owe those people something else as part of the company. So
Right.
in that case, they might have to start selling off pieces of it in order for them not lose control, right? Because they have to pay back the outstanding loans if they're not from the bank.
Well, here's the way I look at it. If they're going to sell it off, now people are saying that PlayStation might buy some IPs, and the way I look at it as Ubisoft's not dumb. Ubisoft also owns, if I'm not mistaken, don't they own the rights to the internet sales or the licensing to distribute the licenses of all Activision games, right? That's what they sold. They sold that to Ubisoft. The way business works is you pat my back, I pat yours. Again, this is my speculation in any way, shape, or form. I have no evidence of this whatsoever. But in my experience in life, if someone scratches my back, you're like, hey, I'll give you a shot first, right? So if, let's say, Assassin's Creed is up for sale, okay? And Sony wants to make that purchase for Assassin's Creed IP, not the studios, but the IP of Assassin's Creed. Microsoft would pay more because just like when Sony tried to buy something, they're like, well, you want to put exclusive for Starfield on PlayStation, and they went out and bought Bethesda to stop them from just getting exclusive on PlayStation and put it in more places. Because if Sony bought it, it would only be on one console, but if Xbox bought it, they're putting out to more things, and they would also put it out on PlayStation as well, right? They're still trying to keep it around. Okay, I would think that the IPs, if Microsoft it would behoove them to be like, wait a minute, we'll pay more. We'll pay more because we have more. They have more money than Sony. Okay, I do believe that some IPs are getting sold. Now, if it's Division, if it's The Crew, if it's Assassin's Creed, if it's Watch Dogs, there's so many.
It's got to be something that has more innate value. They're definitely not going to sell off Watch Dogs. No one wants Watch Dogs. Remember, Business 101 is something is only worth the amount that somebody's willing to pay for. That's basic economics, right?
Right.
So if I have a good IP, but I'm not doing anything with it, and I need money, right? I might tentatively start putting it out there that we're looking to sell some IP, but then you'd have to wait for an actual bid from someone. Because if I come out and I say we want to sell the rights to Division for 8 million or 10 million, someone's got to think to themselves, well, they really need the money, but is it worth that much? Can I sell after 5 years or 6 years of development? Can I sell that game and make back that money? You know what I mean? Like it's a tricky game when you have to start selling off parts of your company in order to remain afloat.
The games I just named, all those games fit the Game Pass model. Every single one. Okay. Assassin's Creed on Game Pass, it's already there, by the way. Okay. But it fits the what Game Pass is. More value.
Don't you find it funny that Assassin's Creed's on Game Pass, but it was on there before it was on Ubisoft Plus?
Well, no, it was down. I think it was on there at the same time, if I'm not mistaken.
Was
it? Yeah, I believe it, but it's still on. I don't know if they're still on Game Pass right now. I'm pretty sure they are. Not all of them, but most of them. Right? Division 3. Right? Like all these types of games, I can see 100% they fit that Game Pass model, especially the seasonal model where people have to come back and keep paying the monthly incurrence of $20 a month to play the games and whatnot with the total value, right? Because even if you don't play that one game, there's still the other value that's there, right? These games fit that business model. So I would be very surprised if Sony's the only one, that gets the wins of these things if they sell this off. Now, I think we had a conversation like 2.5 years ago. We named Square Enix. We named Ubisoft. We named a bunch of companies like Crystal Dynamics and stuff like that who would get bought out by what companies or whatnot. But now we're talking about IPs. Like, do they sell the IP off to Sony? Do they sell the IP off to Netflix? Do they sell the IP off to Amazon? Right, to buyers that keep it civil. You know what I mean? Where they don't give it to Sony, they don't give it to Microsoft. They try to give it to other people. Who knows? Right. Let's see. Water Bear says, the problem with Ubisoft is all their IPs are basically the same, open world based games. Paul says, investors, he wants a full company sale at this point, publicly traded, and they will also just vote, sell 100% all in one go. They want to keep it, though, right? The Guillemette family wants to keep it. I think they're going to sell IPs off. I think they're going to do something along the lines of what Marvel did originally when they were in trouble with money and had to sell off the IPs, right? The Fantastic Four, X-Men, Spider-Man to these other companies, and then they slowly got them back down the line. I don't know. That's the way I kind of see it happening. So that's that. So we got Transformers, we got Ubisoft. Battlefield, Sarge. Let's talk about Battlefield. Battlefield 6. Okay.
Is it called that, or they were just saying it?
No. They're just saying it's Battle. We don't know the name of it yet. They're saying it's an article from Game Rant. They're talking about Battlefield 6 take a less more is approach with guns. And in the article, they're talking about going back to, I think they say in the article there's like 107 guns at. Let me see, where is it? Yeah. So Battlefield 4 is astonishing 107 guns, finding a nice middle ground between a massive number of guns and comparatively small number of guns in the game of 2020-42 would be a blessing by DICE. I don't know if this game could be saved, the franchise of Battlefield, because they put less guns.
Guns weren't the problem.
Yeah, guns were not the problem at all.
It
was the maps, the
heroes. Making people work on that many guns without working on something else, that could have been a problem, sure. But the guns themselves aren't the problem, because remember, in the Battlefield Bad Company series 1, 2, and Battlefield 3, there was a decent number of guns, and it was enough. Nobody complained that there wasn't enough guns, right? They just didn't. No one complained. Yeah. There was the right amount of guns for the right amount of range. And the cool thing about it back then, and they stopped doing this, by the way, was the fact that if you had the PP2000, right, it sucked in the beginning, but it was really good up close. So you would use the gun and then unlock the options for the gun, thus making that gun better. That was the whole point of using guns for certain periods of time. You'd unlock the accessories and it made the gun better. Right. So if you had 50 guns, it takes a while to unlock all 50 guns to their full potential. That's how the game worked. It's just like you're doing now, right? Leveling up a character in Division is the same thing. You're looking to level up the gun so it plays better in game. I don't know if that's the leg to stand on here when you're talking about that's the issue.
It's coming from the article, not from the actual developers themselves.
No, I know, but they go fishing. They're fishing for a story, right? And Matt Anderson could have easily said,
Matt Anderson, who's that? You talking about
the guy who wrote the article? I told you the new year. I told you the new year. I'm writing these fuckers down.
I was like, who you talking about? Who's Matt?
No, I'm writing these fuckers' names down. I'm going to keep track of who writes these shitty articles. I'm going to keep track this year, right? So he could have easily turned it into a story that asked the right question. Like, why did Battlefield 2042 not do as well as these other games? Like, what was the reasons? Like, that could have been the article. Like, the reasons, right? Is it because of development cycles? Is it because of veterancy? Is it because a real story? This is, we might take less guns. Like, we're basically padding the article here. That's what we're doing.
Well, here's the problem. I don't think the guns were the problem at all. And what the article is saying with the less is more approach. Yeah, less is more. They did less. They had less maps. They had less time of making each map. They took more time to fix the maps that they put in at the beginning of the game, right? The game was super glitchy when it came out. It was unstable, unoptimized. They had the heroes. They didn't know what they did. They had to rebalance the heroes. So when Battlefield 2042 came out, it literally took them 18 months to fix the game, just fixing the stuff they put in the game. To finish it, not fix it, finish it. And then once they finished it, then they had to fix it. Okay, they were redoing all their maps that they had from original because they didn't finish making the maps, and then they finally finished the maps. These are the reasons Battlefield didn't make it last time, right? Not because there was too many guns. Okay,
that's like the least of the problems.
Right? There was no scoreboard in the goddamn game when it came out.
Yeah, and I also did more research on that Arma Reforged thing that Robert Jones told me to look at. I'm actually thinking about getting this.
What is this one? This is the
it's basically modern day shooter. I believe it's on console. I know it's on PC, but I think he mentioned that it was on console. That it's a modern shooter, team based, a little bit more realistic.
Well, they have that one that's Delta Force that's out. That's supposed to be like the Battlefield that we wanted.
I mean, I'm getting ready to go fishing. because at this point I want a modern shooter to play, right? Because I've been playing Hell Let Loose for a while, and I'm in and out, and I haven't had time to play for a while, so I had time to look at other stuff, and I'm looking for a modern shooter, and it's basically come down to the point now where I just want a team-based game. And I see a lot of guys who play. I'm watching videos on YouTube of the guys who are playing it, and they're either in the military, ex-military, guys who know how to play the game the way it's supposed to be played. And that's kind of like how I want to play. Like, that's what I'm into.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in seeing if I can get this on console or not. I'm going to make sure if I get it on console or not. Let's see what's going on. I mean, I believe it's still, I think what they said, though, is fan-made. Maybe Robert, if he's still in chat, he can correct me.
Whatever.
But he said it's fan-made. So it's
a mod. It's a mod on a game that's already there.
Yeah.
And it's on console.
This is why I gotta make sure.
I don't think it's on console. It's probably fan-made mod, and it's probably on a game. It's probably Arma, or it's probably
it's Arma Reforged. That's what this.
Yeah,
is.
then it's a mod on there, and it's probably only on PC, I would assume. I don't know, Sarge. You didn't want to download Discord, or you didn't want to log into Marvel's for NetEase. I don't know if you're going to get mods for
I didn't.
because you got to go to some places that you probably won't like to go.
Yeah, I didn't want to do
The
that.
Delta Force looks pretty good. I looked that up because I think was it Jack Frags was playing. I went back. I forgot to bring this up in the play. I went back and played Starship Troopers on console.
Is it fixed?
Okay, it is fixed. It's stable. I actually got through a couple games. Okay,
without losing your experience.
Without losing my experience, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And they added some sort of like not campaign. That's not the word I'm looking for. Conquest mode in the game.
Take over the planets thing.
Yeah, so you take over. You have to join a faction or a guild or whatever. Okay, and then you go in these missions, these mission-based type of things, and as you complete them, you unlock different rewards and different things. It was actually pretty good. It was actually pretty crazy, and everything stays on the board. So when you're killing things, it's just massive amount of bugs everywhere.
Yeah, but isn't that just tanking frame rate for no reason?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I mean,
So.
I'm like on the fence when it comes to like that kind of horde-based type of games, where I want a certain amount of the bodies to stay, but you don't need them all to stay because you're just chewing frames up.
I want to see if I want to talk about this, or I want to talk about. Let's talk about. I don't know if I want to talk about that. Let's talk about this one instead. This one will get Sarge routed up a little bit. So.
But before I get riled up, I want you to answer Brain saying, Reforger. I'm sorry. Yeah. Thank you. So what I'm interested in, though, is the fact that somebody else is trying to take over the space of the modern-based team shooter, which we knew would happen. If EA kept fucking up, somebody else would take their place, and I'm glad somebody else is trying.
Right. All right, so PUBG is getting a AI-powered companion for players to converse and strategize with.
Because the population numbers are probably dropping.
Okay, so we'll just read the breakdown here. Right, PUBG's Battleground introduces a CPC AI-powered companion for players who interact and strategize with. So, because you just hate people,
right?
You don't have your buddy online. You don't want to strategize. So, yeah, I get it. I totally get it. Crafton plans to implement a CPC enhanced gameplay in PUBG Battlegrounds in the NZOI simulation title. Okay, the AI technology in gaming causing controversy, but Crafton is pushing boundaries by embracing the AI CPC. So they've tested it out a little bit, okay? And within here, it works pretty damn good, right? So they announced this at CES 2025, and they equipped the ability to interact with the cooperate with users and understand the response to the game situation in all human-like manner. The company shared how it's planned to implement this. And the Battleground says that the CPC will introduce a new SLM-powered small language model companion called Ally, okay, that can also communicate verbally and team up with the player, and players can converse and also strategize with the AI-powered CPC companion, just like they would if human teammate, greatly enhancing gameplay, right? So all these stories that we've read, Sarge, about like Sony having patents, about completing games for you. You don't even have to play the game anymore. Now you have companions, right? You have no friends, so now you have a friend come in, right? All I'm asking for is games that like let me come in and play with my friends, which is a game like this. And now they're like, yeah, there's not enough people playing, so we might as well bring in an AI companion, so that way everyone's got 2 people on a team, but everyone's 1 guy and 1 companion. But then it starts to blur the lines, right? Because then how do you know you're actually going against real people? Because if the AI is so good, it could be your companion and take word and respond to you and act. Then how do you know everyone else that you're playing is not an actual bot? So you're in a lobby of 100 people, 99 of them are bots companions, and 1 is just you.
Well, no, I think it'll probably be 50 live people with their companion. That's what it'll be.
Yeah,
It'll be
sure.
100 people, but 50 plus their companion, right? Well, a couple things. How is this player character, this computer player character controlled, right? Like, how good is his accuracy? Like,
it's
there's
apparently it's voice activated, I believe.
Yeah, the guys in SOCOM back in the day were voice activated. You told the guy go flank left, and he would go left. I remember those days.
Yeah.
I remember those days when I was talking to a piece of shit Sony microphone and going 1 flank left, 2 center. Like, you would tell him and they go, yes, sir. And he'd move to the left and he'd cover.
Yeah.
Like, I remember those days. It's been 30 years, bro. You think they could have did that again anytime since then? No, they didn't. Now is the time to come back with better AI. But how does he respond? Like, not the fact that you have voice commands, like, who am I fighting against? How accurate is he? Like, you think you got problems now with aimbot people? Now you got a player character, an AI bot shooting at you? Like, what are we talking about?
I don't see anything
Is it
different.
a one hit? If I pick him and he's a sniper, is it a one hit kill?
Yeah, but it's very scripted, Paul. The video that they had, I watched it. It's very scripted. It's what it's supposed to work like, but it's not actually working. It's a very small script.
Once again, we'll see. The people who play this game hardcore will let us know right away. Like, I have nothing to say about it because I don't play this game, but I know for a fact that if a computer player a computer player character is on my team doing what I tell him to do, then look, how good is he?
There's no difference right now. Marvel Rivals has AI in the game, and they go against you, okay? And sometimes they kick your ass.
PUBG
okay?
is a one-hit kill, bro. If you shoot someone proper, it's
Fortnite
going down.
Has AI in the game and bots and bot lobbies and whatnot. All the games are going to be this way. Every single game is going to be this way because there's so many games and so little time. And everyone's going to be playing their games in their own little world, and every game is going to feel like it's packed and filled with everyone that you want to play with. And you're like, oh, yeah, it's still going. They show you the numbers, and they're like, yeah, there's 20 million people playing. And you think there's 20 million people playing because they told you 20 million people is playing.
What your brain must register, because if the top 50 games all have 20 million people playing them, then you know someone's fucking lying.
That's correct.
Right?
But most people will not look behind the curtain.
I'm not retarded. Well, if I'm a gamer and I'm looking up what's popular and I see the top fucking 10 games all have 40 million people playing, I got questions. Of course there's fucking bots.
Most people will not look at that. Most people won't look behind the curtain and go, wait a minute, that's an old guy behind the curtain like the Wizard of Oz. No, they'll just be like, no, my game is popular. What are you talking about, bro? There's plenty of people playing. I get in matches 3 seconds. 3 seconds, I'm in there, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's what to make you feel like, right? Because at the end of the day, they want your time. If you're playing in their game, then you're not playing in someone else's game. And if you're not playing someone else's game, then there's more chance for you to spend money in their game.
Right. What makes this worse, though, and this is why the red flag comes up immediately, bro. All I keep saying over and over again in my head when we have a story like this is consumer protection, consumer protection, consumer protection. Because once they get this down to a standard, right? All these piece of shit games like Concord and everything else that they tried to throw at us and make us want to play, but no one gave a shit about it, is going to say that it has 8 million people playing it. You should try it, right? You should try it. It's got 8 million people. All these people are playing it.
Yeah.
Why don't you want to try it? Because it's all fucking bots making it look like the game's popular when it's fucking not. So you don't have the natural market dictating whether or not a game is popular or not popular, because every game will be popular. Right. So then we're going to have shit on a string being served up to everybody. And then it's going to take us looking shit up to be like, you're a cocksucker. You just shouldn't be allowed to do this. You shouldn't be allowed to do it.
Right.
Right. It's manipulation is what it is. If your game's a piece of shit, it should be allowed to die. Not to be propped up by 8 million bots and for you to come out every week on some kind of community service site and say, oh, you guys should try it. Look at all these people having fun, and have the same morons that you see playing those mobile games talk about the game while it's playing, make it think like they're playing. Like it'll be the same thing, but like in these games with all bots. Look how much fun I'm having. Ooh, that guy's got a sniper rifle. Oh, I ducked behind a rock. Like the way that they talk about the advertising for the game makes me fucking nuts.
Waterbear says the full spectrum warrior did it with the bots. Altern says, does the AI companion shit talk if I die before it does?
No, it doesn't shit talk.
Maybe.
But it teabags anyone within 50 meters.
It just runs over. This is what they would do.
Yeah.
This is
It
what they would
anybody
do.
within
Yeah.
50 meters that you kill, it teabags them every time.
Sony is taking their IPs and they're bringing them to the theater, which I actually said this is what they should do. Right? I think a lot of people predicted this. This is not like where the hell is it? Right? So they came out and said that Sony is working on Horizon Zero Dawn and Helldivers 2 movies, okay? Which I find really funny because Sony owns the rights to Starship Troopers, okay? And they also own the rights to Helldivers. And they're pretty damn close into what they are, right? It's a sci-fi alien shooter, you know what I mean, type of thing. But I hope it does well, right? I look, they said they didn't have enough IPs. Now they have IPs and they want to go multi culture or not. What's that? Multi entertainment type of stuff. You know, or using them for comic books and movies and TV shows and video games. And Horizon Zero Dawn is going to get to the point where you're going to have the online, the single player, the VR, the TV show, the movies. That they're going to oversaturate the market with Horizon Zero Dawn. No matter where you look, you're going to see this goddamn futuristic dinosaurs. And you know who's going to win out of all this? That knockoff game that looks exactly like Horizon Zero Dawn, getting free marketing for it.
Listen, I don't. I'm going to throw my 2 cents into this one, bro. I don't believe Sony has enough money to make Horizon Zero Dawn properly. Because that kind of
they did a good job. They do a good job.
That kind of game done into a live action movie with animations and that kind of stuff, right? That's a serious amount of cash. I would think that between Horizon Zero Dawn and Helldivers, an animated one would work out good, especially with Helldivers.
They could do that. They could do
cheaper,
anime,
a little cheaper.
They own a lot of anime sites.
Right?
So.
That's right. They do a little cheaper. Get a little following going and come out with an animated version of Helldivers, and I bet you we get a good following, and then you can build from there. And then if the animation ones work well, then you can go live action, because what's going to end up happening is you're going to make Helldivers, and you're going to try to make it look exactly like Starship Troopers, and it's look like a low-budget B movie, and no one's going to give a fuck.
Yeah, no, I would take Helldivers 100%, make it an animated, make it badass, like kind of gruesome type of stuff. You know what I mean? Like keep to the lore of what the game is.
A little bit more old school anime. Not the new school.
Like I would like it if it was done. I don't
want to say as far back as like heavy metal, like in the 80s, but like more like late 90s.
I would take it as look. Kevin Smith did a really shitty job with the Master of the Universe with He-Man on Netflix, but that animation style that would fit perfect for Helldivers too.
A little darker though. The palette. Darker.
Like an animated style like that would be cool. Right, I'm up for stuff like this. I like seeing franchises go into different avenues and whatnot.
Those two. Very. Think about the plot of the game, and you're trying to make that a live action. That's a lot of money, bro. To try to do.
Well, if you did it right, the TV show,
you could fit a story in there, no problem. But the fact of the special effects of what you'd have to do to sell the universe is going to be very expensive.
You know what Helldivers is? It's Exo Squad.
Kinda.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a 3-man Starship Trooper, basically.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry,
Squad.
4-man. Sorry, 4-man.
Yeah, small team of military guys going down and saving quadrants of the area.
But this is why I loved Halo so much, because that's what that is. You have regular army, and then you have special forces who are trained since birth, who put on monster armor. Anybody hear Space Marine yet? All right, who basically are trying to defend humanity against an overwhelming Xeno attack from afar, which is also Space Marine, which is also Halo. It's the same premise, right? Humanity's little frail body can't be fighting off shit with his little pea shooter guns. So we have to figure out how to level up. And so it'll be level up by training since birth and putting us into monster mech suits. Yeah, that's how we're going to survive.
That might be good. Hey, Water Bear. Helldivers anime done in animation style of heavy metal.
I said heavy metal, but
Yeah.
that's an old drawing, though. I'm not sure a lot of the people are
Yeah.
going to like that, Water. You and I would like it, but the darkness of that with a little bit more of a not so old animation style. I liked heavy metal though. I thought that was great. That's all freehand drawn, dude. That's
Yeah.
If anybody in chat hasn't ever seen the movie Heavy Metal,
Well, even the series.
Go-
There's the series of it.
well, there was a series, but there's a movie Heavy Metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should watch it. That'll show you the old days of anime.
All right. Next story is the Microsoft says that AI will lead to job losses, invests $80 billion in the tech. Okay. Microsoft has doubled down in its plan to invest $80 billion in artificial technology in 2025.
80 billion.
That's correct. Now think about this for a second.
Not million, with a B.
Yeah, everyone's like, well, how's Microsoft going to pay off the $72 billion or $69 billion from the Microsoft Activision deal? Meanwhile, they're spending $80 billion on some other thing that
Yeah,
right? This is the difference between Microsoft buying shit and Sony buying shit, right? Like they're like, here you go, keep the change, kid, right? Like they just throw the cash at them. Okay, so time-emitting advancement of technology will also lead to job losses. It's always expected to be the case in some sectors, but Microsoft is now coming out and saying it directly. In a blog post, Microsoft President Brad Smith said, AI will, like all new technology, will disrupt the economy and displace some jobs. Some. Some. Sure. Okay. Electronic Arts CEO Andrew Wilson has said the same thing. Smith, like Wilson before, went to say that although AI might take some jobs, it might create new ones. He didn't say might, sorry. Okay, it takes some jobs, it will create new ones as well, and the opportunities from the AI outweigh many of the challenges ahead. Okay, so it says, quote, if used well, AI, if used well, right? If it's used well, then AI will help lower the barriers of entry for many professions, replace tasks and create foundations for human creativity and build AI tools. AI will also create new economic opportunities, allowing entrepreneurs to start new businesses and create new jobs. Along the way, AI can also boost productivity in every sector of the economy, adding the country's opportunity to economic growth, Smith says. Now, Microsoft has undergone significant layoffs in recent years, and with Xbox division affected as well, following the buyout of Activision Blizzard, laid off more than 2,500 Xbox employees. Whether or not any of these jobs cuts were due to AI is unknown at this time, basically. What is evident, though, is that Microsoft's top-down AI push also applies to Xbox. In fact, that Microsoft has said that AI will be baked into every product it has, including Xbox. So there's just a little rundown. So, yeah, I like how they're saying, oh, yeah, no, some jobs will be affected. Yeah, but what's that number?
So here's the
some millions, some thousands.
So here's what you have to look at, right? So there was I guess it was a poll or survey done about a decade ago about how many new jobs open up as far as businesses, like people who start businesses. And then the stats said that if 100 businesses open up, like 89 or 90 of them close down within the first year, right? Which could mean a lot of things, right? It means money problems, leadership problems. You just don't know what you're doing. Vetted, you don't know how to run the business, right? So when you have things like this happen, and you're going to have even more people fired, and a company like this grow even bigger, right? Because they'll have more cash because they're spending less money in the long run on people. You need leadership and people who are intelligent enough when they leave school to be smart enough to start a business. Now, if we were using like the numbers from like the 80s, like people who graduate college and got business degrees and like opened up actual businesses and ran them properly, like if we were running those numbers today, this would look positive because more people would be graduating with business degrees who want to start businesses. And now because of AI, they don't have to worry about using so much upfront money. They can start businesses small with AI and build from there. The problem is that we have such a large base of people who don't want to do shit and definitely don't want to lead anything. So everybody's waiting for somebody else to start this new business so they can work for them, right? Well, Microsoft's looking around and owns the whole tech industry. So if another business comes up doing what Microsoft does, Microsoft will either buy them up or push them out, one or the other. So it's difficult to start another company such as Microsoft in this economic issue that we're having, right? So we don't have it. So when this happens and all these people get fired, they're just more unemployment, bro. Right? And just more unemployment.
This is inevitable, though, right?
You need the way an economy grows, especially in a country like this, right? Is you need to have smart people with money start businesses. That's how it works, right? You need intelligent people who understand finance, who can run a business, who then hires people, trains them, and you grow the business from there. If nobody wants to lead and nobody has any money, then no solid new businesses are open up, and you're just left with what you have.
Right. Look, the AI is inevitable. It's going to happen.
It is.
Right. We watched CES today with some of the robots they're making. It's inevitable, right? Why do I want to shake hands with a robot? Why do I need to shake hands with a robot? Right? Like, I don't need the AI. We've been using AI for years. Okay. All right. When I say we, I mean me. Okay. I just started using the music about 2-3 weeks ago, because where it was just 6 months ago to what it is today, like
crazy.
It's insane.
Crazy how much it's advanced. Just
in 1 year, you ever see that video of Will Smith eating spaghetti? The art.
The AI did it. Yeah.
Yeah, the AI did it, right? It was awful. But that was the worst it was then. Now you do it, it looks like Will Smith actually eating pasta now, right? That's how far we've come in 12 months, 15 months, something like that. Yeah. So it's insane how it's happening, right? And just the songs I create, right? Just the songs. Think about what goes into, I have to hire someone, right? They have to own the gear. We have to rent a studio. You got to record it. You got to edit it. You got to do all these things.
Not anymore.
Nope. Now I just write a paragraph of words in a body of text, throw it in there what I want it to do, and it goes done. 15 seconds. 15 seconds, and you get ridiculous music.
Right. And what happens when everybody who's online starts writing songs like you do?
Well, it'll become oversaturation.
Yeah.
Right. Everything it won't sound the same because everyone's making their own songs specific for them.
It'll get better because people are starting to learn how to change the voices and shit.
Yes. Right. And it'll evolve more, which then it kind of kills the music industry.
Yes.
Not kind of. It literally kills the music industry.
It will.
Yeah. Because I can make the person be Taylor Swift, but not be Taylor Swift, right? I'm not using her voice, but the type of music that she makes, right?
Right.
Like, I'm not tooting my own horn here because I'm not writing the music, but some of the songs that I've created, they're catchy, man. They're catchy because they're using the same algorithm that artists use for the songs.
Because somebody in the music industry was asked to help program and how they program and made AI do what it does. Otherwise, it wouldn't know how to do that. Learn bridges, learn key changes, learn tempo. Like everything has to be programmed. It's not like AI just started plugging in and learned everything. Someone had to program it.
Alter says, "Yeah, we've noticed you've been using AI music. Hey, listen, I'm only making the music to make it more entertaining, right? So it's better for you guys, right? Look, and I'll be honest, I don't know many people that are doing what I'm doing, that in this type of format, making theme songs for the shows and for segments and different things. I know nobody that's doing it. Soon, everyone will be doing it, right? And someone else will be like, oh, and I'll be like, yeah, I was one of the first people, but no one knows because I'm a speck of dust, right, out in the universe.
A speck of dust on the smallest ants.
That's right. Yeah, fucking, it's like a tiny, right? So I think it's amazing, and I think someone that, obviously, if you're a musician, maybe you could take this and make it even better, right?
Well, you can learn music differently. When you have to program music into a computer, you have to understand music. So people who are better with music will understand how to do it better. So you'll probably have more digital musicians then, who will also know how to play, but they make their money based on what they can play into a speaker and then set that to a rhythm and then make their own songs, which once again sounds good on paper. So there's always the honeymoon phase, right? Bunch of people are going to try it, see how much work it actually is, starts to drop off, and then the professionals stay with it, make it better, and raise it up.
Well, look, the people that have learned, there's people that didn't have any artistic knowledge of anything, but they're really good writers. And they understand the way the code. So when they put that stuff into the picture program, all of a sudden they make beautiful art, right? Because of the words they're typing in. Okay. Now they're not actually physically making it, but they're typing it in and making it, and people understand what that is. Other people, like cartoonists and stuff like that, and making videos, the video programs now are insane. Okay. So I was literally thinking about this because I started making a series of the Marvel Rivals characters, right? So I did 2 videos. I don't know if you saw this, Sarge. I created, I took just the JPEGs of the characters, right? Removed the background of all of them, and I brought them into Photoshop, and I bring them in. Have you seen this? Did you see any of my stuff? I don't think you did.
I don't think I have.
Here, let me bring one up for you real fast so you understand what I'm doing. But basically, I'm creating the audio dialogue from Marvel Rivals lore segments. Okay, it's just text. But I'm making it into I'm actually making it into audio, so people that don't like to read can just watch this. Okay. And I created my own comic book, okay, to put on the thing. I have the Photoshop of, I took all the different, I went inside the game, took different shots of them, made the stills of them, okay, and then I started making a virtual comic book that I've been asking for video games, right? I've taken the scenery and I've turned it into like a mini movie, okay? And it's playing the audio. So it has, and I don't like the voice, but here's the voice.
Tower of Solitude, the library prison once used by Allfather Odin. Hunched over a stone bench in a stone room, the tower's sole prisoner on the orders of his brother, he fumed silently, waiting for the chance to act, and fearing what fate might befall Asgard if he could not act soon. Boom. From outside came rhythmic impacts, as something powerful hurled itself against the tower's walls. Thor could only wait. Loki had outwitted him, duping him into entering the tower and imprisoning him there. As one might expect of a clever usurper such as Loki, the room was enchanted to stifle any sound he might utter. Boom. Dust and mortar drifted from one wall of Thor's cell. He stood. It was almost time. Loki might have betrayed him and made his devious play for the throne of Asgard, but even Loki could not think of everything.
No, it's not rough.
Boom. It had not occurred to him, for example,
that
Thor could call Mjolnir without making a sound. Boom. Mjolnir exploded through the wall of the Tower of Solitude and met Thor's extended hand. He gave a shout, relieved to hear the sound of his...
Right, so basically I've taken the audio or the text in the game that they put in there for the lore for each of the characters, and I brought it to life as a comic book here, using AI voice, because obviously I don't want my voice being used for this because I don't have that, right? So that is what AI can do. Someone that doesn't know what to do can do this. So I'm going to start using AI where I'm training the AI right now. I'm throwing Thor's face in, and I'm throwing the video, like the pictures that I've cut out, into the AI program and said, hey, can you make this look like this? So now I'm getting, it's close, okay? But now if I want, I can say Thor in the, inside the throne room, and it will put Thor in the throne room for me at a wide shot, medium shot, whatever. And I can start making what I want without going into the game, taking the pictures and the stills and then taking them into Photoshop and right? It cuts out so much stuff of what I'm trying to do to make it easier, because I'm understanding and learning myself how to do that stuff.
Those who are patient enough and want to learn how to make those things with the help of AI will rise to the top, and everybody else will be waiting to get a job. Like, that's the difference. That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying.
See, I didn't write it, Krebsy. That audio is just taking the text, so when it goes boom, right? That's him describing what's on the thing. I'm not doing any changes. I'm not editing I'm just taking the text from the game, typing it into a program, and then recording each of the lines, and then you get that. So, all right, I think that's where we'll go to Q&A right now. All right, so if you guys have questions, we got about 15-20 minutes left in the show. We usually go over. If you have a question, you want to ask a question, hit the Q button before your question, and then we'll mark it down. And then in just a little bit, we'll take some questions from you guys. And when the banners goes off the screen, no more submissions for questions. That way we don't go an hour after.
Did we miss a story? I thought we missed a story.
What stories, Sarge? I mean, there's others. There's a lot of stories that.
I thought we missed one that we were going to talk about.
Well, we got the Atari one. We got we got Notch. We got Overwatch is pissed off because they have more characters than Marvel Rivals. We got GeForce Now.
Well, go to the Notch one about him doing the predecessor to his video game.
It just says Notch has basically announced Minecraft 2 on a social media. He was just saying his made a spiritual successor to.
And what's the handheld Atari thing? What are they doing?
Well, Atari comes out with something every time and it never sells. So here, I'll show you what it is.
But how do they still exist? The only way Atari can actually exist is it's two guys in their garage again. Like, that's the only way you guys can tell me you're actually existing as a company. What are you selling?
This is the handheld.
Is Indonesia like buying these up by the truckload? Like, I don't understand what's happening.
Everyone's doing a handheld, Sarge. This is an Atari handheld.
And they're using the same color scheme to make. Why?
Because it's Atari. Nostalgia, man. That's it.
Nostalgia.
They should really make a system called Nostalgia. Right? I don't even know if this is fucking real. I'll be honest.
It's Soldier
right?
Boy again. It's Soldier Boy. Now he's doing Atari.
Right? Like this is the they made the old school, they got the little patterns on there. They got all the controller schemes that used to have. They have the.
Are you gonna show me something? Why is there why are there numbers on the damn handheld? What?
They're taking all the control schemes from the old Atari controllers and putting them on the thing.
Atari didn't have a number pad. That was in television.
Well, apparently they're putting it in there. No, there was an attachment piece, wasn't there, for the numbers?
No,
there was a keypad. Yeah,
not for the Atari.
I'm pretty sure
that was in television, bro, or the ColecoVision.
Maybe it was ColecoVision I'm thinking of. Yeah, so there you go. There's the My Arcade, Atari My Arcade.
Am I calling somebody? What's going on the right-hand side?
So dial in your phone number and stuff.
If they show Pong, I'm going to be so mad.
The dial up on top is a spinner, so you could do Pong. Right? So there you go.
But they don't show anything.
No, they didn't show anything.
Nobody wants to see fucking Atari graphics from the 82, bro.
They didn't show anything.
Somebody just tell me how they're staying open. Just tell me. I just want to know. Like, now compare that.
Lazy Bones says the handheld you can buy on someone's trunk at Walmart.
Yeah. Show me the other handheld that has 33,000 games on it. Like, that's something.
Oh yeah, I can't find that. That always pops up on my feed, but every time I want to find it, I can't ever find it.
I think it's fake, bro.
The one that has 20.
It has every game in history on it.
It has the 20,000 game. Every game basically that ever made is on this little handheld. I can never find it when I want to find it. But like I'll be like in bed, laying down, scrolling, and it pops
and it shows up.
Yeah, all the time. So weird. Has anyone bought it?
Has anyone seen that?
Stealth, Eclipse. One of you guys had to buy it, right? Dustin maybe bought it.
Dustin probably got it.
Dustin, you buy this machine, you would have 20,000 games. Let me see if I can find it. It's like a little handheld device. It's always on my feed. I can never find it when I want to actually look at it.
It looks like a color Game Boy.
Yeah, it looks like an old school Game Boy, and it has paddles on the back of it. Yeah, triggers on the back.
Anybody else seen this? Please tell me somebody else seen it, because I keep thinking it's a dream. I don't know what the fuck it is.
I want to buy one, but I'm always afraid that it's too good to be true.
It's Soldier Boy. It's Soldier Boy is what it
is. He's out there selling another knockoff console. Yeah, I see it all the time. I don't know where it is. If someone finds it, put it in the Discord.
But see, everybody's seen it, but no one's willing to buy it. 20,000 games right there at the tip of my fingers, and no one's saying, "Hey, I bought it. It's cool." Nobody.
Right. Yeah.
You know what? Go to YouTube and see if anyone's bought it. That's what I'm going to do after the show.
I don't even know what it's called. It's called retro something, Retrocade or retro.
What I have to do is type in 22,000 handheld system in YouTube to see if it comes up. I'll go look. I'll spend a little time looking it up.
Yeah, someone will find it in their feed. Someone right now in chat's going.
I know it's there.
Yeah,
I know it's there.
I got the Mio Mini Plus. That doesn't. I don't think that's what it is. Does it look like a Game Boy?
No, I don't think that's
Are
what
there
it's called.
reviews? All right, we got quite a few. We got 1, 2,
Engage.
3. We got 11, and they're all not Krebsy. That's great. We got other people putting questions in. They're not all Krebsy questions this week. Fantastic. It's called Engage. Is that what it's called?
I don't think that's what it's called.
No, the Engage is the old school Nokia thing. Yeah. No, that's not what this one.
No, we're
This
talking
one's
about
called like retro gaming or something like that. Retro.
It looked in. Listen, I'm not quick to bite the hook, but it looked interesting. 20,000 games. It's like every game ever.
Yeah, I can't find it. It's like nope. It literally looks like a Game Boy. 100%.
Yeah, that's it. The one, Magic. It looks like a Game Boy. Yes. I don't know the name of it.
Yeah, we all have it in our feeds, but no one ever was like, yeah, it's bullshit. It's not real.
What is it, like $50, $150? What is it? I forget what the price was.
No, it's like $60, $70 for 20,000 games. That's why I was
$70
like,
for 20,000 games. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. I think it's a scam. I think it's a scam. I think it's a way to get people to like get your information or whatever.
To get a shell of a video game system, and it has all games that are broken. They don't load.
Tim from Kind of Funny Games just bought one. All right, I'll have to look at it. The Poly Station. I don't think it's called the Poly Station. Here, I'll look it up. You're just probably making this shit up. And I'm like, all right, let me type that in. Let me type that in. No, that's not.
Dustin, did you buy it? We
That's
thought
not
you
it.
bought it. Did you buy one? Come on.
Dustin had definitely bought one.
Come on, Dustin. You buy everything. You would get the game. You would get the handheld. It gets 20,000 games, right?
It just came out with a Nintendo 64.
No.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about those little boxes things. I'm talking about.
Not the box. Not the box.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Yeah. All right, hold up. See, this is why the chat is the best.
This is the power of the
power
internet.
of the chat. Yeah, power of the chat. Argus with the win. We give 5 points to Argus. This one's 80, but this is it. This is the 256 gigabyte. This one's got 30,000 games in one handheld console, 3.5 inch screen, IPS screen ratio gaming console. Right? Not sponsored, by the way, in any way, shape, or form. I'm not telling anyone to go buy it in any way, shape, or form. I'm just This is the one that comes out all the time on my feed. I'm like, is it real? I don't know. I still don't know.
Okay, so now talking as the resident old guy in the chat, right? Talking as me, right? I know
Supports online battles, dude.
Right. So 30,000 games, right? It sounds amazing, right? But here's my thing, because once again, I'll say it out loud. I am the resident old guy in the chat, right? I am not playing on a 3.5 inch screen. I don't give a shit.
Right.
Right. It's amazing that you have 30,000 games on there. I think technology is amazing. But if I could transfer that to my screen, and I'd play those fucking games on my big screen TV, but I'm not staring at a 3.5 inch screen. You can kiss my ass.
I see it all the time. I'm like, should I do it?
You see the difference. The difference. This is one of the little quirks for the generations. Like, we grew up with small televisions, and as we got older, the TVs just kept getting bigger.
Yeah.
And then you get a cool TV portable you go camping with and stuff like that, but it'd be a small screen. But the TVs still kept getting bigger, right? These kids are born, they already see the big TV.
They have a wall.
Right. They have a wall now.
Yeah. They have
but
a
now
wall of a television.
Their handhelds, everything else, the screen keeps getting tinier, but the graphics look just as cool as they do on the big screen. So to them, it's amazing that awesome visual is on this little tiny screen. To them. To me, it's the opposite. Like, I don't give a shit.
My first TV was that small 6.5 to 7 inch old school rabbit antenna, click, 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 click. You know, you had VHS, right? And I used to watch the Tonight Show in black and white. This is the
Yeah.
80s.
Yeah.
All my shit was in black and white, right? I couldn't get anything. And then I got my first actual television set because I got straight A's in middle school. I think it was in 6th or 7th grade. And then I finally got my first television set. Yeah. And it was, I think it was a 13-inch. And that was big. 13 inches was big.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. Very impressive. Yeah. So, all right. Let's take some questions. Let's take this off the board. No more questions. Maybe you could sneak one in, or maybe. Okay. So let's go to question number 1. Mo says, I was wondering, Sarge, about how you feel about Hasbro. So, first of all, let me correct you. It's Hasbro. Okay. And how they're treating the IP.
It's a generational gap now, Mo. The guys running the company are looking forward into the future, and they think all about all this digital shit and all this other things that they can do with their IP, but they have no roots in the ground. They're just flying around with the wind. They don't care. Look at all the stuff they come out with. Like, I used to collect figures and things like that. Hasbro used to come out with. The figures are garbage. Like, the plastic is garbage, right? And I traced it back to there's no cohesion anymore. Like, when we were kids, they made a cartoon in order to sell toys, and then a law passed in 87 or 88 stated that you couldn't do that anymore because it was manipulation, right? So they had to stop doing that. But they also had shows come out where they were teaching people stuff, like kids shows that taught people stuff, and then they would sell figures because of that one, and then they lost that battle too, because even though you were teaching kids things, you were still trying to sell a toy based off of it. Or so once you remove that, there was no reason to know about the toy, first of all, because there's no show about it, and no one's just talking about toys. So that became like the downward slope of the toy. So now you had to rely on just toy commercials based on nothing, right? We're selling a toy, and the commercial would come on, and you'd be like, well, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it does. Nobody gives a shit, right? And so that became the downward slide. So once these companies realized that they couldn't do the same thing they were doing before, they had to come up with new and better ways to make toys, which, you know, since you've been alive long enough, they didn't. They just rehashed the toys that they already had sold, right? That's why you have reissue of G1 Transformers and reissue of G.I. Joe and rehash of certain Barbies and everything. Like, it's just weird, right? No one invents anything new.
They don't want to invent anything new because it's expensive to make the mold.
It's expensive, right? So all you keep seeing is the same molds to the same toys. So to me, they're treating the IP like complete garbage. They don't care.
Yeah,
because they're not into selling toys anymore. I'm not sure if you were in the chat before. We were talking about how Hasbro sold off D&D to a gaming company. They just want to get paid. They sold it to a slot machine company. Now you're going to get D&D slot machines. It's going to be so exciting when you guys go to the casino next.
Exciting.
D&D on a
I'm
slot
a D&D
machine.
fan.
I can't wait, dude.
Maybe I'll lose some money to D&D.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Second question is,
talking about?
Altern says, if you can make Battlefield game of a known IP but not G.I. Joe, which IP could it be?
Well, Transformers is a given, so let's go something else.
Right. I don't want to say Transformers because that's. I could see. I see a.
See, the problem is all the.
The problem is, I would say, like Exo Squad.
Timelines have been done.
Yeah.
All the timelines have been done. The further back in time you go, a Battlefield game is more boring.
Oh, I got one.
Because all single shot rifles. I think Exo Squad would work.
That's what I said. I said Exo Squad.
Mechs and men and tanks, that would work. But then again, that would be like Planet Side.
Here's
Planet
one.
Side.
A Battlefield game, but done differently. No guns, right? No guns. It's magic powers and stuff, like sort of like Battle Royale's done in the past with Spell. I forget what that Spellbound, I think it was called. What if you did? You could do a Marvel's game, right? It's not like Marvel Rivals, but like, you know, just an open world Battlefield game. It's just like the end scene of like Endgame. You know what I mean? Like it's just a giant battle of bad guys and superheroes and whatnot. You could do that, or He-Man. Battlefield type of game where everyone's charging. You're fighting over like Castle of Grayskull, right? Like the map of that area. That could be fun.
I think that would be the progression in gaming where you have a game like you have a game like Rivals, but it's
Spellbreak,
in a
that's it.
battlefield, but it's in a battlefield setting, and it's fully destructible environment, and you're like you are in the comic book. Like I think that to me is the way to go. Like I'm a Marvel character, I'm playing on an open world battlefield map, but I'm playing based on a comic book. So whatever I'm doing in the comic book is based off a story or some kind of mission.
Yeah, it's a story arc
that was in a
Yeah.
comic book. Yeah. So maybe certain matches is 4v4, certain matches is 2v2, and certain matches.
Oh,
is
so
1v1.
I see what you're saying. So you're saying like in the baseball game MLB The Show,
Yeah.
they have these moments where you become and you live these moments in the playoffs or like old school, like you have to make the catch of like Willie Mays out in the field, like someone hits the ball and you got to run back there, like you're stuck in these moments.
Well, you're not stuck in the moment, but the story that's being written is
you get
in
to
the
do what you
comic
want.
book.
Yeah, Madden does this.
So let's say, for instance, I don't remember the issue number now because I don't remember all the numbers in my head. But let's say it's like an issue like Wolverine versus Sabretooth, their first encounter, right? So it's you as Wolverine and the other guys as Sabretooth, and you're in that little city or world that they were in. It's like a small map.
Yeah.
Right. And you have to do certain things, and then you battle it out. It's you and him battling it out.
That'd be interesting.
Right. That's the 1v1. It's a smaller map. But when you get to the bigger maps, like the Justice League versus the Legion of Doom.
Yeah.
Right. Taking over New York. Go. Like,
yeah.
And it's got destructible environments. Like, how insane would that be? Right. I'm in a battlefield sized map, but I'm superheroes flying around and we're trying to. That to me is the progression of a Battlefield game.
You know what? I'm not sure let me see all the ones they own. Hasbro IPs, they own Action Man, Axis and Allies, Dungeons and Dragons, G.I. Joe, Little Pet Shop, Mr. Potato Head, My Little Pony, Monopoly, Nerf, Peppa Pig, Pound Puppies, Power Rangers, Scrabble, Transformers. Yeah,
there's a
Mask, Magic, Micro Machines, Mr. Potato Head, My Little Pony. Yeah. They own Mask. GoBots. They own GoBots.
Yeah, GoBots is cheap Transformers.
Duel Masters. They own Duel Masters. Laser Tag. God, remember Laser Tag, Sarge?
Still in the closet.
We were Laser Tag guys, and my friends were Photon. Yeah, the Photon, and they had a TV show. Both had TV shows.
I know, but I like the Laser Tag gun much better. It's so
Laser Tag looked like a futuristic gun from like V.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
From
Photon was like this shitty,
Sci-fi
and
gun.
they were wireless. Laser Tag was wireless. They were battery, where Photon had the fucking cable.
Attached to the
you had to
thing.
wear that stupid helmet, but the Laser Tag had the vest.
Vest with the Velcro.
Yeah. Good times.
But they did sell the hat that had the thing on it, so you could get shot in the head or the chest.
Yeah.
Photon could be shot in the gun, which made no fucking sense.
Yeah, right.
Because I'm shooting at you, you're shooting at me, so it's an automatic hit. We're shooting at each other's guns. Makes no fucking sense. That's why you walk around. That's why you walk around like this. You walk around.
Just do this. You can't cover.
Right,
you can't cover.
You did one of these. You did one of these. You were shooting around like this.
Yeah. You're like, you're covering. I'm not covering. I'm not covering.
I'm not covering. That's how I stand.
That's why they put it on the front of the gun, because you were.
That's how I stand, because you were covering. Yeah.
That's exactly right. All right, let's go to the next question. Next question is also by Altern. He says, "What would be your next AI hit song?"
Oh, I'm glad you asked. I was going to tell you which one it was, Mike. Now, I think I lost it. It was in my head. I lost it. Oh, the song was to be about dates.
Dates?
Yeah, dates. Like
we're
giving you a date. Like release dates. The song
Okay.
about release dates. Yeah, that's the one I was going to give you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me some more info, and I'll make a song about it. Want to hear a song? Want to hear a song about it? Here we go.
Here we go.
That's the guy from In Living Color, right? It was David Allen Greer.
Yeah, I think it was David Allen Greer. He was like, "When I was a kid, well, I was rebel."
I wrote a song about it. Want to hear it? Here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah. I think my next AI song I'm working on. I'm working on one for EA, for like Madden, FIFA, Android Wilson. I'm trying to write something and put something in order to have what Madden has become over the years. And then I was thinking about, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I was thinking of, you know what? I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it.
Don't say it out loud.
I'm not going to say it out loud. I'm just going to surprise you guys when I do it.
Don't say it out loud.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. Roadkill says, question: if I send you or pictures of myself in little dialogue, can you make a movie about me? Sure. I don't know if I would do it for free. This shit it takes a while to do, right? When I'm doing it for myself is fine, but if you're like contracting me out to do something,
I'm sensing a closet narcissist. Is what I'm sensing. That's what I'm sensing. My spider sense is tingling. Oh, speaking of spider sense, real quick segue. Dude, what the fuck is up with Spider-Man inside Rivals? How fast is he?
that's why I told you you can't do capture the flag with him because he would just be there and take it and run
around like a crazy person. It was insane.
Next one, Altern says, Sarge, do you see yourself playing Marvel Rivals alone, or would you only play with friends or chat?
I would jump in with other people. I don't think I could go I cannot go into a random match.
No, he would rage quit, smash the controller, come back and say, I deleted it.
You have to understand, I'm team-based. I'm a team-based player. It's strategy games. That's what I am, right? Everything I've ever played is played with a group of people, tactics-wise. Chess player, combat player, it's all team-based, always. So when you're trying to lone wolf everything, great. I'll just go play a one-player game.
Altern's next question says, what IP would save Ubisoft if they make a game or of it, not Assassin's Creed or Far Cry?
I think that it's too late. I got to be honest.
I was just going to say the same thing.
Yeah, they've been doing the same type of game for so long, and it helped them and hurt them at the same time. They were really good at it, right? But when push came to shove and people start wanting something else and all you keep giving them is the same shit, you can't pivot, right? You can't hire new people. You can't pivot. So what are you supposed to do? So you try to come out with a different game. We all know which game that was, and we know how long it took for them to come out with it, right? And they took too long, spent too much money, and it hurt them. Right. You would need to be able to build a team that is put together from a different cloth, who has worked on different games in order to make a different game. But they haven't. All their eggs are in one basket. We've all seen the basket. All the eggs are the same.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know where you're supposed to go from here.
I don't know if Ubisoft, because Ubisoft taken licenses from like Disney with the Star Wars and with Pandora with the Avatar. That's big money there. So if they had to come up with a brand new IP, that's a risk taker, right? Because they don't know if it's going to make it or not. This is why they keep running with the same shit over and over and over and over. I don't think it's able to be saved. I truly believe, like the song I wrote about Ubisoft, okay, is that will it ever be back to what Ubisoft was? No, it's not. It's not going to happen because they're so far down the rabbit hole and debt, whatever you want to call it, that Ubisoft of old is just a shell of a company now. It's just by name. That's it. So I don't think anything could happen to save them personally.
I mean, a buyout would help, but they would need to bring in fresh people. And if you're bringing in fresh people, that means there's firings.
Right. Krebsy says, do you think the company that showed Switch 2 at CES will get blacklisted by Nintendo or sued by them? I didn't read that story, but what you're saying here, so there's a company that showed the Switch 2 at CES, or did they show a mocked up version of the Switch 2? That's my question. Is it a 3D printed of the mold? Is it the actual Switch 2? If it's the actual Switch 2, then I would say yes, they blacklist them and whatnot for sure. Let me know about that. Next question is I've seen a few articles recently saying that multiplayer games are declining and dying. What do you think are the top contributor factors to this? What multiplayer games are dying when the top games right now are multiplayer games? Like, just in general, who's saying that, first off?
I know you say a
few articles. You're saying a few articles.
Give me his name.
Like, what games are dying? Multiplayer games.
They just like to say shit, bro. They just like to say shit.
Do you think it was a mold? Oh, for the Switch 2? If it's just the mold, then I don't think there's a problem because it's not the actual product. So they don't know. They could say, all they have to say is this is a mock-up or whatnot. Because there was a guy who made a video of the Switch 2 of a mock-up because the people that make the cases or whatnot for the Switch 2 sent it to him. So obviously, I don't think it's a bad thing if the company that's making those cases is sending a YouTuber stuff. I don't think they would put themselves out there because he even said who it was. So I don't think they can really do anything as long as they just cover their ass. As far as this one, what articles are saying this? What is it in submitted stories? I don't even think I. Let me see. Let's see here. Submitted stories.
They like to say shit to start shit.
Is this the one? Is this the one right here where you? Where is it? Is this the CBR online multiplayer isn't fun anymore? Is that the article that you're talking about? If that's the article, I'll read it real fast and see what it is.
I think he has a Game Pass song already there, Mo. I think he already did one.
Yeah, I have a Game Pass song.
Here's it, Mo. It was for you. We thought it was your theme song.
Online article, online multiplayer isn't
when
fun
I
anymore.
heard that song, I thought it was your theme song, Mo. I didn't know. You know, you didn't hear it yet.
Here, we'll bring this up. Let's bring this up and we'll talk about this real fast. Right, online multiplayer isn't fun anymore. All right, so let's.
Because there's bots.
Okay, video games can be fun, but just one player and no one else. After all, there's no drawbacks for exploring the worlds of games like Grand Theft Auto 5 alone with no one else to speak of other than a non-player character. However, video games are arguably better with two or more people, evident by the popularity of party video game genre of Mario Party. In all, multiplayer is a good way to have multiple players flex their knowledge of certain video games, and the only trouble is that at least the local player, there can only be so many people playing in a room at a time. Enter online multiplayer. One of the greatest inventions of video game history, games with online multiplayer from Team Fortress 2 to Fortnite to allow players from around the world to compete with one another, and certainly beats finding enough enough controllers to let others gather enough people to play locally. In recent years, however, online multiplayer seems to be falling by the wayside, with many new games, most famously infamously Concord shutting down almost immediately after launch. To understand what's happening with the online multiplayer is worth examining the history of Peak first. Hold on a second. She's taking one game. Is it one game? Is it she or he? Marley. That's a toss-up there.
Hang on. Writing the name down.
Marley Hughes. Okay. Concord's probably the worst example to put up against this theory of no one's playing multiplayer games and it's diminishing, because Marvel Rivals, when Concord had its beta, Marvel Rivals also had its beta, and 20,000 people or 200,000 people were playing Marvel Rivals, but there was 2,000 people playing Concord. So to say that no one's playing, it seems a little, I don't know, disingenuous from using Concord as the example, but let's read on. History of online multiplayer. Genre has been around for longer than one may think. Okay, yep. Online multiplayer has been around for as long as the video games have been around. Although online multiplayer itself did not become commercially viable until technology advancements in the 1990s. Numerous online gaming services, online multiplayer cropped up at this time, the most famous early example of being X-Band. X-Band allowed the select Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo games to be played with online functionality, with that said games being interested into the X-Band cartridge, a la Game Genie X-Band, also a novel way to allow players to across the United States to compete against one another in a game of Super Mario Kart or Doom. Okay. Online multiplayer became more viable in the late 1990s and early 2000s thanks to the separate high-speed broadband internet over a more limited telephone-based dial-up internet. Indeed, many popular online multiplayer games from Counter-Strike to Unreal Tournament got their start in the time period, and then they became definite symbols of the video game in the new millennium. New online gaming services help facilitate online multiplayer. From GameSpy, spiritual successor of X-Band, and especially Steam, which then practically monopolized online gaming for computer users. In mid-2000s marked the point where also online games were also reaching the summit with the proliferation of the video game console with built internet connectivity, and also especially the case with Microsoft Xbox and Xbox 360 video game consoles, both on which the Xbox Live to back up the reputation. By the end of the 2000s, online multiplayer largely surpassed local multiplayer on-site, in-person social settings, and the major video game console of the day, supporting online gaming. Peak of online multiplayer, okay, 2010.
Oh, boy, man, that was the fucking shit.
Yeah. After years of development, online
That was
gaming technology during the 1990s and 2000s, online multiplayer truly hit the stride of 2010s to the growth considered with the broadband internet fully replacing dial-up and outdated connection methods. Okay. Midway through the decade, open world sandbox type of video games became ripe with online multiplayer, including comfy resource management titles like Minecraft and
She's
more.
not telling you why, though. She hasn't told you why. She's giving you a
just-
history lesson. She doesn't tell you why.
Examples of big Fortnite, Apex Legends are all the games that are held together, dedicated communities and players and give them purpose. Online video games finally reached the apex in 2020, especially during COVID. Has it reached its apex?
I don't know what that means. You think it's going to get worse from here?
I don't understand. So COVID-19 pandemic forced many people into their homes and it proved opportunity to time video games as a whole, with new and old video games going viral across the internet, helping to spread online video games masses. Examples of newer online multiplayer games enjoyed their popularity during the 2020s, including Among Us, Fall Guys. Let me tell you something. This person, Marley Hughes, sounds like a person that's never really played a lot of multiplayer games, and the games that they're using as examples are very small niche, like small compared to the larger area of multiplayer games. Among Us, Fall Guys, and Concord is the three examples that they've given. Okay. In older titles like Roblox and Gary's Mod enjoying renewed popularity during the time as well. Many of these online multiplayer games also achieved pop culture status with fan-made creations like Skitty D, Toilet from Gary's Mod. I have no idea what the fuck that is, but anyway. Pandemic eased. There's also public interest as multiplayer titles. This shift sharpened to focus long-standing issues with online play, some predating the pandemic. Decline of multiplayer.
Yeah,
Online multiplayer.
But right underneath that, it says online multiplayer. Scroll back down. It says the genre became too saturated. If it's too saturated, that means more people are playing multiplayer games.
Right. More people ever are playing multiplayer games.
If it's saturated, there's not too many people playing them.
Right.
Now, if you're frustrated about it, then where's the part of the article where she talks about that? That's all she needs to talk about. That you're frustrated because you get your ass kicked. Just show me the paragraph.
It says another culprit, microtransactions, has made modern online multiplayer titles feel increasingly superficial, unnecessary, and in some cases outright predatory. Controversial changes. Also, certain games have also contributed to such transformations as Counter-Strike Global Offensive, once lightweight game into more resource incentive Counter-Strike 2. Most of the online multiplayer genre appears to oversaturated with the most memorable ideas seamlessly exhausted, leaving newer entries struggling to stand out.
That's a good point. That's the one point in the whole article so far. One point she made.
Yeah, but the struggles of new Marvel Rivals literally breaks the mold of what she's saying, or he's saying, or Marley's saying.
Yes, it appears, she uses the word appears oversaturated with the most
Is it a
memorable
fucking guy or a girl?
ideas.
I have no idea.
Yeah, but listen, it's not declining, right? She's trying to.
It looks like a guy. It's a guy, Marley.
Whatever. They are convoluting. They are convoluting the reasons why there's a decline in multiplayer games and the fact that people aren't playing multiplayer games because of microtransactions and these other reasons, right?
Right.
There's plenty of multiplayer games. That's what keeps these games still going because they are multiplayer. The decline of multiplayer, maybe she's talking about 1%. They are talking about 1% or some nonsense because we realize that just the multiplayer games are just there to sell us stuff. It's a digital store. It's not really a game. Then yeah, I'll agree with that point. But they are not making that point. So I don't know what to tell you.
They're literally using. Okay, let me read the death of online multiplayer. In recent years, it appears to be that there's also greater movement away from the grandiose online multiplayer titles of yesterday. To be more simple, single-player games have had a long dominated video game industry anyway. Some of the games in question, from Dead Space Remake to Starfield, complexly excite any online multiplayer components. Altogether, even in our previous games, had one. It goes to show the diminishing power of online multiplayer, although that isn't to say it's close to completely dying. First of all, when was this fucking article written? 4 days ago. Did they miss 2024? Pal World, which is a single-player / online multiplayer game that sold 25 million copies, okay? Helldivers 2, which sold 18 to 20 million copies, okay, which is a co-op multiplayer game, okay? Let's...
I don't know what the fuck they're talking about, bro. I keep
Marvel Rivals, okay?
It's called padding. It's called padding the stories. That's what this is.
I'm done reading the article because I don't think they know what they're talking about.
I'm waiting for the point. Show me the decline.
Right. So I've been in a few articles
Neither
recently
one.
saying multiplayer games are declining and dying. What do you think of the top contributing factors to this? I think shitty ass writers writing fluff articles that don't know what they're talking about. There's your answer to the question.
It's
Like
weird,
that is ridiculous.
Weird.
All right.
Weird.
Last question for Krebsy. What will replace the void created by Transformers Reactivate getting deactivated? For me, nothing. There's nothing that can come out that would get me excited. And if another Transformers game gets announced, I will never ever be excited again. They've literally killed my any emotion. I'm dead inside. So anytime anything gets announced, I'll just be like, yeah, we'll see if it comes out. That's it. Show me when it lands on the doorstep here.
That's it.
If it's Game Pass, PlayStation Plus, if it's out, it's got to be out. That's what happens to me.
Here's the funny part about this year, right? I think because nobody can hit their dates and nobody's releasing a full game, I think that the hype train for GTA 6 is going to be insurmountable, right? Because
I'm not excited as of right now. I'm not excited for Grand Theft Auto 6.
I'm not saying I'm excited. What I'm saying is there is nothing that has been proven that's going to come out and be ready and done and good. Nothing has come out ready, done, and good. Nothing. And this game's going to come out in October, allegedly. So when that game comes out in October, it's gonna blow the doors off of everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Just like I wasn't excited for Marvel Rivals until it was here, I'm not going to be excited for Grand Theft Auto 6 until it comes out and I start seeing stuff. Like maybe a week before, I'll be like, oh, yeah, looks. Starting to get excited.
I already told you. I know you don't believe me. But I won't be getting it day one. I'm just gonna wait and see what's up.
Okay. Mo says, question, I know, but what game or games are you looking forward to this year?
GTA 6.
If this show happened before, it would be Transformers Reactivate.
Yeah, GTA 6.
Right now, nothing. Nothing comes to mind. Absolutely nothing. Because I don't know, and I'm not excited for anything personally.
GTA 6.
No, what I'm saying is I'm not excited. Like, I'll play it, but I'm not excited. There's nothing that I'm excited for. I was really surprised about Indiana Jones, Mo, but I wasn't excited about it until I played it. And then when I played it, I was really excited about it. So there are going to be games I'm excited about that I want to play, but right now there's nothing that's like I'm excited for. Just not. Like I said, I'm dead inside right now. Krebsy says, do you think you should make a Star Wars game like Indiana Jones The Great Circle and set after episode 6? I would take that. I would take the adventures of Luke Skywalker done in a way of Indiana Jones, where it's him, R2, and then he goes on the adventure to start the Jedi Academy, right? The actual like Luke trying to start it, and you're going around and making the story of that or doing something. They did a little bit of it in EA. What's it called? Battlefront 2. There's the story in Battlefront 2. You play Luke in one mission, and you come across like this room where the Emperor like keeps a bunch of stuff, and you're looking for, I forget what the crux or whatever the holocron or whatever it is he's looking for, to like find a list of kids. That'd be cool. It's sort of like the Grand Theft Auto list. Like you have a list, and now you're going on an adventure to get these kids, and it would be cool. As I'm making this up in my head off the top of the cuff here, that when you get to the kid, there's like different things that happen, and the kid can either go with you or not go with you, and it's based on what you say or do. So there's like a moral compass thing that happens, and so by the end of the game, it kind of tells you like how many people you recruited for your Jedi Academy or not, and maybe the sequel comes out. And then you start with those kids in your academy where you could get them all, but you only got like 3 of the 10 or something like that. I don't know. I think something like that'd be cool.
I think that would sound awesome. I think it would be amazing that if you did it back far enough to where you learn to be a Jedi, you go through the game, you learn to be a master after you learn so many skills, and then you take on your own Padawan, and then you have to actually train them, and then you get to fight with them on missions and shit. I think that would be that would be incredible as a single player experience, and then have somebody else once you've reached master, then you can go on to once you reach master, not before. Once you reach master, then you can go online with other guys who got Jedi Master in their chosen guy, and then the both of you go on like crazier missions. I think that That's next level gaming, right? Single player game, learn the ropes, learn the NPC helps you, so you learn how to work together, right? Trains you how to work together, and then once you master it, you go online, call up your buddies, and then you go on crazy missions, like go after a Dark Lord somewhere, or go after this bounty hunter with a bunch of guys. Like that would be kick ass.
I'm digging it.
And a cherry on that cake would be, before you start the mission, you set in real death or not, and if you die, you lose your guy. You got to start over.
Oh Jesus,
Yeah, but you flick
like
the switch.
State of Decay,
But
like State of Decay type of stuff.
You flick the switch. Or like we're
Right.
going on this mission, and you'll send it to somebody else, and you'll say, "I'm going on this mission. It's if I die, I die. I gotta start over." And that would be fucking incredible. That would be fucking
Luke
incredible.
says, yes, Sarge, but what do you want the devs to really make? You're not clear enough.
Mr. Luke, it's a good thing. It's a good thing I know you're sleep deprived. You're calling from England, right? You're on from England, right?
Yeah, he's like 5 o'clock in the morning or some shit.
I know he's sleep deprived right now because he knew I would bitch slap him in the face.
But how you have to explain to the devs
That guy gave
exactly
me
what the
that guy gave me a fucking tumor. Fucking soy boy.
So that's what I would do with that. Dustin says, "Are you going to watch the Like a Dragon pirate game? Am I going to watch? What is it, like a direct type of thing? Maybe. Is it when we do our live show in the morning, or is it like happening tomorrow? Is it happening? I'm not a big fan of that series, so I'm going to say no because I have no interest in it, and I'll probably look at it afterwards once the thing, but I probably won't watch it live. Do you even know what that game is, Sarge?
What game?
What he said about the Like a Dragon?
No, I didn't hear about it.
Okay. Let me see. Anybody else had? I think
it
there was
wouldn't be
one more
roguelike
question.
though, Brain. It's more like an action adventure game. It's not roguelike. You're not sneaking around. You're a fucking Jedi.
Dolphin says, what do you think of the mystery game? Xbox says that they're going to be showing off in the direct. They said that it's unannounced game. What do I think? Like it's a brand new IP that nobody knows about. It's a Transformers game. That's my. No, I have no idea. I have no idea what the hell it's going to be. It'll probably be like I don't know. It'll probably be an unknown IP, just brand new. No famous IP, just a brand new IP. Sarge doesn't give a shit about that anyway.
It's not that I don't give a shit. It's the amount of time I stare at a screen is the same, except the 6 hours, the 7 hours I used to do just gaming is now 3 hours of gaming and 4 hours, 3.5 hours of stocks. Like I'm still staring at a screen. I can't break the promise to myself. I can't do it anymore. Can't.
Mo says it'd be funny if it was Mike. If it was a fucking Transformers game, I would fucking laugh my ass off. I wouldn't be excited. I wouldn't be excited because if they show it, it's still 3 years off. Whatever they show is going to be down the road. It's not coming out like ASAP. You know what I mean?
But that wouldn't be a roguelike game, Jason.
Well, roguelike is like what like Hades is, or
Would it be like that?
yeah. What you're saying, it would be an adventure game. But you're saying because you're the death, I think that's why he's saying it'd be like a roguelike.
Oh,
that's why he's saying
that's a switch.
Yeah.
I say that if I die, I die, and I start over.
What would be the benefits of if you put it on the hardest mode, like full of death? What would be the reward?
The fact that you can do it, you've mastered your character enough and all the moves that you wouldn't die. It's called personal goals and growth. Yeah, that's what that is. You don't have to put the switch on. I just think it'd be badass because then in the universe of the game, right? Because everyone's sharing the same universe, right? You would hear the story of Master Buttlick, whatever you named your guy, right?
Right.
He went after Dark Lord, whatever, and he died. And then it would be like on a storybook somewhere in the Jedi Temple or in wherever the thing you are, and then people would read about it and go, "I knew that guy, right? I can't believe his character died. Like he's dead, right? And he has to start over, right? I think it'd be cool. It's just it'd be self-made lore inside the universe of a Jedi game. I think it's that. I look at that as next level gaming. We're on a different level now. It's something new and different.
Well, technically, Jason, a roguelike, and I looked it up, right? It says roguelike and rogue or roguelike is a style of role-playing traditionally characterized as a dungeon crawl through procedurally generated levels, turn-based gameplay, grid-based movement, and permanent death of the player. Most roguelikes are based in high fantasy narrative, reflecting the influence of tabletop role-playing games such as Dungeons & Dragons. So the dying part, yes, would represent a roguelike. But what Sarge is talking about, none of that is represented as a roguelike.
What I just described isn't a genre yet. Right?
Right.
What I just talked about isn't an actual genre of a game yet. It's fucking incredible, and I would love to see it. I'd be all in.
Because a roguelike would be the entire game. If you die, then you start over. But that's not what he's saying. It would just be an action adventure game,
and then
like
once you reach master level,
the Indiana Jones. It'd be a full story that you're going through. He's saying at the end that you could go on like an end game type of part for it.
Yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool. I'm not sure if you do like Street Fighter move to do the force moves, or if there'd be like a radio wheel. But I don't want combat to be broken up by a pause in a radio menu for you to cast something as a force power, right? I think you can only have so many force powers, and they have to be like moves on a controller, like a Street Fighter.
Well, that'd be easy. You would just have to hold the RB button, and it pop up, and then you would just hit A, B, X, A, and then if you let go of
quick,
the RB,
like a quick
then,
thing, like you memorize where they were, and you just do a quick. You do a quick trigger and a button, but I don't want it to be paused. I want the action to be fluid with force powers. That would be incredible.
Concord like AC Shadows. That's right. Yeah. All right. That's going to do it for us here at Generation X Gaming. Episode 424 is in the can. We do appreciate you very much for coming out, hanging out with us. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Thank you very much for your renewals, for your memberships, and also for the super chats for Magic Dolphin, Robert Jones, Akuta Papa, and Rachel. Thank you very much for keeping on the support of the channel. We appreciate you very much. We'll see you guys. I might stream Friday night. I do have relatives coming in this weekend, so I don't know if I'll be able to play, but if I am, it'll be late night Friday to play some of Marvel Rivals to go through the season or whatnot. Other than that, I do appreciate it very much, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.
Game on, guys. Give him the Game Pass. Give Mo the Game Pass.
I have an outro set.
Well, then we'll do it. We'll do it later.
Yeah, you get the Game Pass. Come early in the morning on Daily Grind. You'll hear the Game Pass song.
Retro meets the now and here. Gaming tales you need to hear. Laugh and shout and sometimes sneer. Memories from all those years. Console wars and secret tips. Tips and tricks from pixel trips. News that pours from gaming sips. Critical